YouTube. What's up, baby? Let me see. Can y'all hear your boy? Can you hear your boy? I don't know. I don't know. Can you hear me? I don't even know if anybody in here. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, yeah, okay. Hey, bro, I was on the cellular telephone, B. Let's see. Hey, I love your videos. Appreciate it. Trucker for life. Okay, John, Will, are you listening? I'm not against that. You should be 100% reimbursed for your struggles instead of being the world's policeman. Money can get. Peace. Hey. Saw the interview. Okay. Oh, okay. Apocalypse in here. What up, man? Can y'all hear me? Is it good or no? Do I need to put my earpiece in or can y'all hear me? Let your boy know. Let me know. What up, Schmitty? Can y'all hear me, man? Let me take a sip of my water real quick. Sorry. Do the vid too. We can hear. Okay. All right. So, uh, I'm hoping that some guys come up in here. What do you mean you don't agree with the military? That's what we about to talk about. That man, can I get set up? Let's see, not bad, but a little. Okay, I sound a little bit. Okay, I gotta put the headset in. Then give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Got the okay. All right, hold on. One day I will go buy a microphone, but today ain't that day. Hold on. Let me see. What about now? Can you hear me now? You cannot hear me now. No, sir. Okay. I don't know why that's not working though. But you can hear me now though. Our truck on order yet. Hey man, give me some time. All right, so we just leave it like this, and I'll try to stay as close as possible to the screen. Okay. But really, what I wanted, because so many people. Well, not really. It wasn't a lot. I was hoping more people would talk about it, but it's whatever. Um, but so many people took that statement out of context. Okay. Sound good? All right, good. Have you been at war? Have you been at the war? No, I've never been at the war. Um, no, I haven't. But um, so many people took it out of context. Let them know the truth about previous stuff. um, because of how Trucker Brown set it up, which is cool. It's that's what it is. And he even said, "Man, I might not need to upload this," and I said, "Yes, you do." Because that's how I feel. And if somebody has something to say, then we'll talk about it. And that's what this is for. I really want people like Lil Dog to send me your Gmail so I can put you in the Google Hangout so we can talk. And the other guy, I forgot his name, but I want to talk to him as well. It was a good vid. Wow, network. Right. I thought it was. But I want to know. I want to talk to them. Okay, I want to. That's why I want to do it this way, so we can talk. Because they were so angry in what I said, and I can't remember. Let's see, program. I don't think this is for me. Had a bad train. Oh, bad trainer or trainee. Not all trainees are bad, if that's what you're saying. But you'll find the right one. But the thing that Lil Dog said about cutting my hair and all that stuff, that is definitely is part of it. This is a part of me. I don't want to cut my hair. I am my own self. I do what it is that I want to do. So if I don't want to cut my hair, I'm not gonna cut my hair. But it's all good. They were angry. I didn't see their video yet. I'm a trainee. It'll get better, man. It'll get better. Just tune in. Okay, little dog, go and send me your Gmail, man, so we can talk. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you might have sent to the other phone. Did you send to the other phone? Hold on one second. All right. So, what's up, Shay? But yeah, I want to talk to you, man. You seem like you was very upset, even though we talked on the phone about it. You were upset at what I said in the video. So we can talk about it. Text me the link and I'll join in. I don't know what the link is, bro. I don't know how to do that. Hey, Mutt Dog, Dre, I don't agree either, especially black people. We fight. Hold on, what? We fight for a country that don't fight for us. We're part of killing and pushing Americans. I feel, that's how I feel about it too. I understand where you're coming from, bro. We were doing a lot of work. Yeah, and that's not really all the reason, that I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it because of the way they treat, and that's the funny thing when the oh man, Roger, what's up? The funny thing is these veterans were so angry, and I'm on their side. I'm actually an advocate for you. I'm actually defending you. I'm actually here for you. That's why I said I don't agree with it because of the way they treat you. Okay. Now, not all military people are treated the same. Okay, because I have then it's in my email. Okay. Um, but you got to send me. Is that your Gmail, little dog growling? That's your Gmail. Let me see. I wasn't upset. I just wanted to hear clarification on your views in case you were being misled. Oh, okay, okay. Stay true to yourself and be the way you are. Oh, I'm always gonna be that, Greg, no doubt. If your views, respect the freedom. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna send it there. But let me see. Add boom. But I'm more of where you at? Where were you at? There you go. Okay. Oh, rolling. I said growling. Now I hope you have Google Hangout, which you should. And Billy Rains, send me your Gmail. We'll talk. But my thing is the way that they treat the military people. I believe, and this is the same conversation I had with Lil Dog. I believe if you're in the military, you should be taken care of for life. Okay, now most of them are, from what I've seen. Again, I have military in my family. Okay, and they get taken very, very much like care of. Okay, and I see that part. But the other part with, now again, I was thinking this over the weekend, like the veterans that are on the side of the road, veterans that can't get jobs or help, or, with PSD, whatever it's called, with mental problems and of the stuff they've seen, I just didn't feel like that was right. So I'm like, if that's how the military and the government are treating the people who fought for our freedom, okay, and this is the way you're treating them, I cannot agree with anything you're about because and then you get people like Walmart and these big billion-dollar companies donate to the veterans. Like, why would I donate my money? That's the government's problem. That's Walmart. You're the billion-dollar company. Why don't you donate to the veterans. What is my little $1 gonna do to your $1 billion that you make every year? You know what I'm saying? So it's just that right there makes me upset. And that's what that statement came from. That statement was not saying that I hate the veterans, I hate people in the military, all the people in the military are the worst people in the world. I'm strictly talking about the way that they treat you guys. Okay, I thought it was wrong and I didn't agree with it. So if you're going to continue to, the people who fight for my freedom, okay, I'm doing that because that's what everybody kept saying, that you know freedom isn't free, and does he know that they're fighting for my freedom and blah. Like, bro, if that's the case, then why do you treat your people this way? Okay, so that's why I said that. Uh, let me see. And then the comment, I don't think some of those homeless vets are real, not real. Hey, and that's what I'm saying. They could be homeless, but just put they're veteran. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I have seen some military people who have needed help, and they're not getting it. Okay, and I just feel that that's wrong, because if they're going to sacrifice, and then being away from family, us truck drivers worry about home time. In the military, you're gone for months. Okay, months. Me as a truck driver, I can say I'm gonna be out for 2 months, but if I feel like nah, I'm gonna go home in 2 weeks, I can do that. But if you're all the way across seas, like, bro, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, if that's the case, I just don't believe in that. So there you go. What's up, man?
What's up, Drodge?
Ain't nothing, chilling. You got your products placement. Got the little
I
dog in
got
the
my.
background. I see you.
I made a. Well, no, I made a little set here at the house for some of my new videos. So
Okay.
it's just. I brought coffee. I don't know where that went.
Most of us homeless vets are real. Trust me, I work for the VA. And business is not as big as it. So, Red Dutch is saying it. That's how I feel, man. You have to do 3 tours to determine who can talk. Now, hey, man, if any other veterans are in here, come on here and speak your piece, man. Because again,
So,
I'm on your side.
well,
Take
let me preface by saying when I talked to you on the phone, the only clip of the video I had seen was the one that TB put on Instagram that got shared on YouTube. The
right,
one, remember, I sent you a link and I said, "What?" I texted you and I said, "What the fuck is this?" You know what I mean? I
right,
was like, "What is this? What is this shit?" And when we talked, and you said, "Oh, well, it's about this." When I watched the full clip of the video, I didn't get that that's what you were trying to say.
right,
You know what I'm saying? And like my frustration comes from the fact that it feels like a lot of people, maybe you included, don't understand the full scope of what the military does. It's not just war. You know
mm,
what I mean? They do a lot more than just war. And I agree 100% with you and people in the comments and friends of mine, every a whole bunch of people that say, hey, we shouldn't be the world's policeman. We shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be doing that. And that's 100% correct. I don't think we should either.
right,
I mean, I don't think anybody really does. I think we have more to worry about here at home. But like I had said in my response video, was the United States gets involved in a lot of different things for a lot of different reasons. You know what I mean?
right,
It's not just because we want to be the world's policeman. It's because you and I don't want to pay $10 for a loaf of bread because the price of oil goes through the roof and gas and diesel's so high. Like
right,
there's a lot of different things, and people don't think of that full scope. You know what I
right,
mean? I think that's kind of the frustration. And then I will say the one thing that really kind of like upset me, because I don't have no problems with you. You and I have talked a lot. I met you in person down in Dallas. I
right,
I have no problem with you. But the one thing that upset me, I think, the most out of everything you said was the fact when you said that, uh, and it was kind of like you were saying that it was okay for you to say what you were saying because you had family in the military, right?
right,
Like to me that was like, well, okay, well, I can say that that's the old adage, like a white guy goes talking about black folks because he's got a black friend, so he can say whatever he wants to say.
right.
You know what I mean? It's kind of
Yeah,
along the same lines. I mean,
right.
but that was my frustration.
Yeah, and I could see it that way. And it was the reason I said that is just I didn't want people to think that I'm just talking out the side of my head just to be talking. I wanted people to know I've actually had these conversations with the people in my family that are in the military. You know what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying? So that I'm, like I said, I now, again, it's in some of that was more of no, she good, it's all right, but more of that was just YouTube, YouTubing, make it seem more worse than what it is. But you know, when you need something, you good, you good, okay, all right, okay. But it was just you know, then what did I say? I forgot what was I saying? What was I trying to get to? I forgot.
I don't know. If I was a mind reader, I'd be a lot richer.
Right. But what I was saying, it wasn't what part of the military that was like fighting in other countries and doing that stuff. That right, I don't agree with. But again, I don't know the full gist of stuff, and I look at it too as because again, I'm not talking from being mainly educated or being in the military
Hmm.
because I look at it as say you and I have a disagreement, right? And like my subscribers, your subscribers, and I send my subscribers over to Nevada to fight you, and I tell them, hey, look, you go over there because if you don't go over there and fight him, he's going to take our freedom over here, and they just go do it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if how much they explain to you guys what they're doing and why you're fighting. That's just how it
I
looks to
mean,
me.
the military itself, man, is kind of like uh, I guess it's kind of a way to relate it is kind of like a country within a country, like a
Right,
people within a people, because the military, I mean, some may know and some don't know, but the military isn't governed by the same laws that common citizens are,
right,
because we follow regular laws, the same laws that you and everybody else does, and active duty military or reservists or whatever, they're also subject to the UCMJ, which is the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which is almost like double jeopardy. You know what
right.
I'm saying? Like, for example, if a military person goes out in a town where their base is, and they get drunk and they get a DUI, right? They're punished by that town, but
Mm-hmm.
then when they return to the base, they're punished again by the military.
Wow.
So it's two sets of laws, and so there's a lot of different things that govern. And you're right, a lot of things aren't explained to people. When you're deployed to somewhere, you're deployed to do a mission. You don't honestly know why you're doing the mission.
Right,
People can tell you whatever they want, but I mean, is that the real reason? Who the hell knows?
right,
You know what I mean? Do I think that we initially went to war because of weapons of mass destruction? No. I mean, but there's always other motives that some of us will never know.
right,
None of us have that kind of clearance.
right,
I mean, but I think the thing that struck a core with me and with others is just because most veterans, and you have them in your family, they're just
right,
proud of what they've done, and proud that they've served their country, or proud that they, even if even if they're like little guy and all they ever did was sign fucking papers, they're
right,
still proud that they did what they did. You're proud of it.
right.
I've
And,
got I got a whole fucking behind me. I got a whole box of awards and plaques and shit and files of letters of commendation. And, it's just something that changes you forever. So when somebody that never served or whatever appears as though they're challenging that,
right.
you buck up and you try to fucking stand up for it. And the shot about your hair, by the
That's
way,
what
because
I got.
I heard what you said about me saying you didn't want to cut your hair. I knew you didn't want to cut your hair.
Right.
I knew you wouldn't want to cut your hair. You wouldn't look at that pretty hair you got.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you
yeah. I'm
know
not
damn
cutting
well.
this. No
See,
sir.
yeah,
No
see,
sir.
you've been working on that shit for a long time. You ain't trying to cut
Yeah.
that stuff.
Right. What's up, Billy?
What's up? Can you hear
That's
me?
good. Yeah, we can hear you.
uh,
What's going on, Billy? How are you?
I'm good, man. It's cool being on here with you guys. Been
Hey,
watching y'all's YouTube channels for a long time.
Well, now
that's
you
what's
gotta.
up.
Hey, make sure you guys are watching Drodge. Go subscribe to Billy there.
Right. Yeah, go subscribe to Billy, man. I see you got
I
some
just,
good
I
editing
just,
skills.
I just seen that you made the video, right? And I I initially saw it on TB's Instagram also, just to short clip it. And I didn't say nothing about it. I was like, well, that could be anything. You know what I mean? That could be edited. I mean, I edit videos myself. I mean, you can edit people to say just about whatever you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then I seen the longer video, and I was like, well, he could say whatever he wants to. I was like, but I feel like I don't know, like a not necessarily a responsibility. I just, I'm a trucker. I'm a veteran. I was like, might as well let them know how I feel. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I said, you can say whatever you want to. We don't necessarily have to agree with it, because I, like a lot of veterans, I get what you're saying about they don't take care of us and stuff like that, and that's an opinion. But like, I mean, I signed up for the military when I was like 19. I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. I mean, the war had been going on for a while by the time I signed up. I knew what I was signing up for and what it was going to be and
Right.
all that stuff. I knew going into it what it all was going to be and stuff. I mean, it was a little surprising, but that's my point of view on it. Is we all know it's like trucking, right? We all
Right.
sign up for a cent per mile. We all sign up for the benefits that our companies offer. We all sign up for different things. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, everybody knows. Nobody. I mean, they give you a contract. You talk to recruiters. It's pretty much going into the military is almost exactly like going into trucking. If you're misled or misinformed, it's because you didn't ask the questions. It's because you didn't know what you were getting yourself into is on you, because they
Right.
give you every chance to get the information.
Right. But again, I feel even though you know what you're getting into, just from the way that I see what goes on in the military, I see what you guys have to go through. Again, that's what I'm saying is on the behalf of you guys.
Yeah, I hear
That's
you.
what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with y'all. It's strictly because I don't like I feel like you two that's on here right now should never have to raise a finger again.
Yeah.
It's just that's
And
how I feel.
I've got a lot of friends who are like that though. They've got 100% disability for whatever, and they don't work anymore, and they do whatever they want to do. I don't think I mean, I don't think I deserve that, because I got out of it relatively okay. You know what I mean? So
Right.
for
But
me,
I
it
mean,
was. I mean, it's
trust me.
given me a lot of advantages also,
Right. I
of course.
have, like I said, I have military people in my family. Okay. One of my uncles. Okay. Again, I know it's different stuff to he is one of the people, but he's been in for a while. He's top secret, clean, all this. He has
Yeah.
a big old house. He even has a panic room. Okay. Because of the stuff he knows. And the money he gets from the military is one thing, and then once he retired, and then the money he makes as a military civilian, okay, is like he's living large.
Like
But
there's
that's different, okay. And again, I've talked to him about it, but I'm just saying for an overall aspect, it sits with me wrong on that. You know what I'm saying? And to
I
send because I feel when you go fight these wars, you never the people that you're fighting somebody else's problems.
You can
So
you can say that, but you can look at the statistics on it, right? I mean, not statistics, just headlines and whatnot, right? If you look at, you know, 9/11 stuff like that, and then once we went over there, all that shit stopped over here. You know what I mean?
mm,
Basically, that's how I justified it in my head. We were going over there to fight them in their country, so we didn't have to fight them on the streets of our own country,
so
because things were getting worse and worse. And so,
yeah.
so
I mean,
I
there hasn't been a war on American soil since the Civil War. You know what
and
I
right,
I'd
mean?
rather be proactive than risk that. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
right,
would rather
exactly.
be out there fighting
Exactly. I
somewhere
mean,
else than ever worry about my kids having to fight in our backyard or something.
right. So I got a
yeah.
question. So I'm just asking. I'm not saying I believe this or not. So you don't think that was an inside job to get people to go over there?
I mean, and
I'm just asking.
anybody, regardless whether it was an inside job or not an inside job, it was fucking horrible,
Right.
right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that died, and little kids, and innocent people lost their lives over that. And obviously, I mean, they know who, or they claim to know who did it, and they know,
Right.
I mean, there's honest to God video of planes hitting the towers, and I mean, so it came from somewhere, but I mean, we obviously, as a country, America wanted revenge. We wanted payback. I mean, it's like when you don't let someone come into your house and take all your shit, and then you don't want them to suffer for it, or at least pay the price somehow, whether it's repay you for your stuff or get arrested, face the consequences that way.
Right.
And and I will say I disagree with you on what you said about if you served in the military that you should never have to work again, because
Right.
there's like Billy was saying, like there's a lot of us that served and either weren't in or weren't on the front lines, weren't getting shot at or whatever. Like there's a guy who's on like everybody's live feeds almost, Apocalypse,
Right.
right? That man deserves to be taken care of for the rest of his
Right.
life for some of the stuff that he's been through, that he's seen. But yet he still works, and I follow him on Instagram. Like if there's anybody that I would want, someone to look up to, is in that fact, it would be a guy like him, because of the way he is determined to, do right by his family, his kids, and his country, and even though he probably doesn't have to work, he still does. You know what I mean? So, but there are vets like that shouldn't have to work that do, and then there's vets that, like me, I can work. I've got bad knees and shit, but that's about it. I can
Right.
still work. You know what I mean? I
Right.
wouldn't want to. I would feel like if I was on disability or something, I would feel like I was taking advantage of the system. And there are a lot of guys that would do that.
Right.
There are
That
tons of
do
guys that
that.
could, yeah, that do that, and what that does when guys do that, it takes away from guys that really do need help getting the fucking help.
Right.
It really does, because it clogs up the system. Our system, no matter what it is, it's so bureaucratic, and there's tons of paperwork, whether it's dealing with military vets or immigration or welfare or Medicare, whatever it is. It's so paper logged and everything. When there's tons of people trying to claim those benefits, there's others that are still waiting in line that really need the help, and they end up committing suicide because of it.
Right.
Guys that have legit PTSD, guys that have legit disabilities that can't work, and you see them on the street or something like that. And then,
Mm.
of course, I'm sure we all agree, probably a large percentage of the people you see on the street saying, "Oh, ex-veteran or whatever, give me a hamburger." Some of those guys aren't even vets. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
They,
That's what I thought of.
But I mean, you're right. I mean, we do stick our nose where it shouldn't belong. We do,
Mm.
but not 100% of the time. But then again, we don't always know the reason.
Right. Right. And
We
that and
just
that's
don't.
just that scares me, man. And you know, like I'm not a military guy. I'm not afraid to fight, but I'm one of those hard headed people. I gotta know what am I doing. If I was in I would get kicked out of the military. And
That's what
everybody,
goes into. They don't even tell you, Drodge. They don't even tell you.
right,
When you go through the process, like Billy or anybody can tell you, initially you see the recruiter and you do all that kind of stuff. You go to MEPS, you pass all the physical stuff, all the, the freaking checks, all that kind of shit. You raise your hand and you swear to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And beyond that, you're locked in, man, and you do what the person above you says to do.
right,
You don't ask
yeah,
questions. You just do
yeah.
it.
See, and I was the way I was raised is I try to do that. Now, if I feel the person is a good leader, I may follow a little bit, but I just me going to kill somebody I don't know, I would just be in. I'd probably be thrown in military jail or something. I don't know what it is, but because I would be like,
I mean, answer this question. If you were in the military and you were ordered to a foreign country, um, and they tell you it's on a peacekeeping mission, would you go?
then I would ask, what peace are we doing? I need to know details because
Okay,
peacekeeping.
you're going to a country in Africa. You're going down to Africa to help distribute food rations and American foreign aid. Now you're not you got the answer you wanted. You know what you're going to do, and you're going to keep the peace. Meaning you're going to guard
So that means I'm
And
gonna
get to
have a
go
gun and be
now,
pointed at
now wait a minute.
somebody.
Now you're peacekeeping. That's right. Now you're peacekeeping now, and some rebel force, some rebel force comes in and they start trying to kill the people in that village that we sent all that foreign aid to. Are you going to ask those folks, hey, why are you killing these folks? Or are you going to protect yourself and protect others and do what you were told and keep the peace by eliminating the people that are trying to cause an uproar?
That's a tough one, man. I don't know. Cause see, I'm not the murdering type. Okay, I've never been in a situation where.
Nobody is until they are.
Right, exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
again, whatever is going on over there in my for right now, I don't because I don't know everything. You know, can I sit down with the people on the other side? Because clearly, if it's the peacekeeping, they're not mad at me, so I should be able to sit down with them and see already because I'm real with myself. Me saying what I'm
But
saying right now.
you got that flag on your sleeve, so they already hate you.
So then, see, I got to take that flag off. Okay, so we're gonna. I'm just. Hey, I am. Everybody knows I'm the line stepper, so I'm friends with everybody. Okay, don't be mad at me. I didn't do none of this stuff. I'm just here to talk and figure out how we can fix this. You know what I'm saying? But again, by me saying that, I would already be kicked out because I'm asking too many questions. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get kicked out.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't know. It's different. I guess it's different for everybody, man. I mean, and we're all a product of our environment in a way, and we're all raised different. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I mean, like I don't know Billy's history, but my grandfather was in the Navy during Korea. You know,
Mm.
and I grew up. I grew up in a household where there was pictures of him in uniform on the wall, and it was to me it was something that was great. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like seeing a picture of my grandfather in uniform, it was great, and he would tell me stories and everything. And in that time, like my grandfather was born in 1934. Okay,
Mm.
so like I grew up in a military household. My grandfather was a truck driver. He was a teamster. All these different things, but he was also racist as fuck. You
Right.
know, my grandfather was racist, man, beyond anything you could imagine at that time. And at a young age, you don't know the difference. You know what I'm saying? You don't fucking know. You
Right.
know what you're told, what you're taught by the people around you. So, I mean, going forward in my life, I knew like my goal was always to be a Navy fighter pilot. That's what I wanted to do. But I quit school at a young age and got my GED and all that kind of shit. So I couldn't be a pilot. I didn't go to college. I didn't have no degree in basket weaving or anything. But I mean, it's just Billy got the joke. It's just
No, I was reading my bad. I was reading for some reason the comments
I
they are getting to racism.
getting to racism, but
There's a lot of
because
race stuff going
we
on.
all
They
we
keep
all bleed red, man.
yeah, I mean, I and I can tell you, man, one of the most nervous times in my life was, when I was still in the Navy. I had just gotten married. My daughter was a baby, and I took my wife home to meet my grandparents.
right.
It was the first trip back to Pennsylvania that she had ever taken. My wife's Mexican,
Hmm.
and so going around my grandfather, I was very nervous. You know what I mean? Because I was like, how is he gonna react? You know, because I mean, she's not my wife's not dark, but she's darker. Like she don't ever get untanned. You know
Right.
what I mean? So, so I was at that time. I was just like I was so nervous, but I don't know. Like I'm getting off track here, but
Yeah.
the military aspect of the whole thing. What I'm saying is the military changes you forever.
Mm.
It does for in everything that you do, and thankfully, the military wasn't, I didn't end up having those same beliefs. You know what I mean? It made sure that I ended up taking more pride in what I do and different things, and it's just a way of life, man. And that some things like when guys like me or Billy, we get upset with things that people say, it's because it's in you. Like they say, trucking gets in you and it never leaves. The military's the same way, man. 100% the same way.
Right.
You're never not serving your country, I guess, at least in your mind.
Right.
But you said
So we
you
got.
wait. Hold on, I got a question for you because you said you're not the murdering type, right? So
Hmm.
let me ask you this: someone breaks into your house and has a gun to in their possession, and they're pointing at your family all crazy, and you got a gun, and you got an opportunity to shoot that motherfucker, you're gonna do it, right?
He's gonna talk him out of it.
I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to shoot him in the hand that he has the gun in. My aim is on point. I'm going to shoot him in the hand, and then once he goes, he's going to go and then I'm going to run and jump on him. I'm going to put him in the chokehold and say, "Stop resisting." Then I'm going to put him in handcuffs that I have in my bedroom, and then we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. Because first I'm going to stitch up his hand and stuff and say, "Hey man, why my house?"
You say, "Why my house?"
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's gonna say, "Because I saw your big flat screen on YouTube and I wanted it."
No, that's fake. Don't that's product placement, okay? Don't believe nothing you see right there. Okay?
Green screen. It's green screen.
But yeah, man, I do what I gotta do, but that's different to me than me flying over to another country and doing that. That's different. Now if I'm on vacation,
can I go back and answer some of the questions?
Maybe you're flying to another country to help another father who can't defend his family.
Yeah, these comments are getting crazy.
Can I go back and answer? So with the 9/11 one that you asked, I would say you have to trust your government, because if you don't, it's a really bad idea. You know what I mean? Like if there's an idea out there that your government is willing to do that to get a means to an end, that's a scary world to live in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think about it like, if it eventually comes out that is a thing, the government will have really big problems with a lot of us that believe that was a real thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then the second thing that Will was talking about, suicide earlier, I think that's another thing of the system, right? Because people are getting misdiagnosed and their medicines and stuff are wrong,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which messes with their head, and then they take more and more of it, and then I've got a lot of friends that have killed themselves when it was just drug overdoses, that they mismanaged their medication. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I was going to ask, because he was asking about peacekeeping mission, would you draw the line at, if you were driving, would you go over there and drive a truck if the price was right in a war zone? You don't carry a gun. You're in a convoy with like 30 other trucks. You got other people out there with the guns. You don't have a gun or anything. You just go over there and drive for a set amount of money.
Right.
Would you do that?
No. No, sir. I'm over here chilling. Okay. Now, real quick, I gotta
I'm the same way too.
Yeah, I gotta the 9/11 where you said trust your government. Okay. Now you gotta understand where I'm coming from on that. When it comes to trusting your government, some people in the darker skin side would say that the government is not here for them. So when you say trust your government, you gotta your perception on the government and mine are totally different.
No, but you
because
can't agree
I
that
see
that's
what
a scary
happens
world.
towards my people, huh?
You can't agree that would be a scary world to live in if your government would blow up 2 buildings and crash a plane into the Pentagon and wreck another one into a field in Pennsylvania just to get us to go to war. You don't think that'd be a scary world to live in?
I mean, it's a scary world. Period. It's a scary world. Just think about what you just said. Like there are black men. Okay, I'm not trying to get, but that's just we're gonna take it anyway. But there are black men who can get pulled over and not know if this is going to be their last time on earth. So it's already scary. And the government has done things in the past where you're like, what in the world? Now, I don't know if it's true, because it could just be the news. It could be whatever. But when it comes to trusting the government, they have done things that a lot of people do not agree with. So when it's just, you can trust them in a way, but period, I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. Okay, I'm gonna put it as cliche as it is.
I'll say this: do I trust the government? Not with everything. Can I just say I don't trust them to spend money right? I don't trust them to do a lot of things right. But like Billy's saying, when when your government, when your superiors, when you're in the military, your superiors are asking you to do something, you follow the order. That's just the way it is. You do what you're told to do. But I mean, with anything, any kind of disaster such as that, everybody always cries conspiracy, right? They always say, "Oh well, it's an inside job," or this, or aliens are fucking real, or whatever. You know what I mean? There's
Right.
always somebody that brings up and if it gets traction, then it gets traction, and then when the government doesn't tell all of the facts, like in the case of 9/11, then people start to speculate, right? It's just like us making opinions about one another without knowing all the facts. It's the same ordeal. I do want to respond to 87 Cozart here.
Yeah, because that's what they want you to do.
He put a comment here. Says those Iraqis haven't done anything to me nor black people, which we don't benefit. Which we don't benefit for the military. As far as Iraq and the Middle East is concerned, if America didn't keep interest there, everything you buy would cost 10 times, if not 20 or 30 times more.
If Saddam Hussein still controlled the oil, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because guys like that, when they try, all they want is money, because money brings them power. So if they drive the price of oil up, then everything else costs more, right? Because you guys know, most of you guys are truck drivers. When fuel prices go up, you want more per mile, or you want more in your pocket. If you're an owner operator, if you're a company owner, you want more money because you're spending more on fuel.
Right.
And where's that money go? Right back to OPEC, to the Middle East, to all of those countries over there that control the oil. So while they didn't do anything to us legitimately during that time, there were effects. You know what I mean? There was things that America's trying to make sure that the people are happy. Every president wants the citizens to be happy, right? Because
Right.
you always hear them talk on the news: approval ratings, approval ratings, approval ratings. Because the president wants to get reelected because he wants to keep himself in power. You know what I mean? All of those kinds of, it's all about fucking money and power, man. Doesn't matter if you're talking
Right.
about government or Iraqi freaking kings and princes and shit. It doesn't matter. Same thing.
Right. So I just feel like, so because what I've been reading and hearing is that when we go to war to these people, what it is we, I guess, Americans want to use their resources, but we don't want to we don't want to share in the revenue of their resources. That's why we're over there, because we want to take the 20. We want to make them only take 20% of the profit, and we take 80%. Is that true?
See, here's the thing. Think about oil, for example. Let me tell you that America, the U.S., sits on one of the largest oil reserves in the world, but we don't
Mm-hmm.
utilize it. Why? Because we have government overreach into everything that goes on. Everything. So you have
Right.
people that say you can't drill here, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. Well, guess where those rules don't apply? Other countries. So we can American companies that are huge donors to politicians have interests in
Mm-hmm.
foreign countries. So guess what happens? They start little lobbying here, little lobbying there, little lobbying here, protect this oil reserve, protect this, protect that, whatever. The government gets involved. They try to justify it to the American people in one way or another. It's how it all works, man. It all revolves around money, every single bit of it. But
Right.
like, for example, I mean, so here at home, somebody just Cozart said that we're number one in incarceration. That is 100% true. And we incarcerate people for such trivial shit nowadays that it's unreal. They put someone in jail for, what's the minimum, like 10 years for a certain possession charge or something
Right.
like that, because they're walking around with fucking $10 worth of weed.
Right.
Oh, intent to distribute or some bullshit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But those things are things that people don't fight for anymore. There's not enough people that fight for injustice in the criminal justice system. There's not enough people. Everybody's worried about other shit
Right.
all the time. You know what I mean? I mean, since when was the last big movement towards better civil rights for everybody,
Right.
for fucking equal pay for women, things like that? It's been fucking years, man. I mean, you had the Black Lives Matter thing, which everybody got the point. Everybody knew what everybody was trying to say, but all the shit got out of hand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because money
I don't
got
think there's
involved.
exactly because money gets involved. You know what I mean? It's not like it was when, Martin Luther King would stand there and give a speech or something like that. And people were peaceful and people listened and people gave a
Right.
damn. Now it's like, oh, they have a protest and there's people stealing shit out of stores. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like the pictures you've seen from like out, where was it? Was it Oakland or something like that? You know what I mean? Where they were like breaking into trucks and standing on cars and setting shit on fire. I mean, is that really the way that it should be done? No. But guess who comes in? Guess who comes in to fucking get everything back straight? They call the National Guard, the military, come make sure that people aren't killing each other here on the streets.
So what about the people that say that America or the top 1%, they start these wars for the money because they're not going to translate over to the central currency that is whatever the central banks want to have, and that's why they start these wars. One, to make raise taxes and all this stuff. Now, I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just let people speak.
My thing with everything, here's one way to solve a lot of problems. What's up, kid? Can you have mom's tablet? I'm a little busy, but I'll get it for you when I'm done. You need to go back in the house.
Are you still in tablets?
Go back inside.
Kids in those fucking
car,
tablets,
I don't know.
man.
It's gone.
They love them, man. They love them.
But the thing that can change everything is term limits. Term limits for politicians.
Right.
And that's something that you'll probably never see, because one, most people either don't vote, they don't think that their vote counts, or they just don't vote in general. But two, you've got politicians that have been in office for 30 fucking years,
right,
and they want to keep things the same way they were when they grew up. So if you don't have a more diverse Congress, if you don't have a younger Congress that are your age, my age, Billy's age, and such, shit will never change. It'll always be set back. You'll still have those people that want segregation to be a thing. I guarantee you there are politicians in office right now that if it came up to vote for, they would vote yes for segregation.
Right. Oh yeah, there's people like that.
Because they're that old and they were around at that time,
Right.
But that's the only thing. Term limits, man. You got to get people out of office that have been there too fucking long.
Another thing is
change.
Another thing is people who are only politicians. Like when America first started, it was like the greatest people in the country running for office. You know what I mean? Whether you agree with what they did or not was different, but they were serving the country, like generals, lawyers, statesmen, people who built whole cities and stuff. You know what I mean? Now you got people who run for office, and that's their whole thing is just they're politicians for their whole life. They don't know anything else. You know what I mean?
Right. So I got one of my business partners said he would vote yes for segregation. Because there are some people saying that was that was the worst thing for black people in America, for us to come together. What do y'all feel about that?
I heard that I heard a story a long time ago, right? That was like basically when the Civil War was over, Abraham Lincoln, his solution to things was let's just send everybody back to Africa and it'll just solve all our problems. And people who were like Frederick Douglass and stuff like that, they came out and he was like, no, let us stay here. This is the best place for us. Africa's not our home anymore. America's our home. We won't be accepted there either. And then they kept them around. You know what I mean? So, I think unity is what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
the more ideas you have about different things, the more point of views you have about different things. Like when I was talking about the government earlier, and I was like, we
Right.
should just trust in the government, because if we don't, man, that's a scary world to live in, a world where we can't trust our government. And then you were like, well, there's people that are scared to get pulled over because they don't know what's going to happen to them. I
Right.
don't have any experience in that. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
like, you open my eyes to that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
Can I
like being
say
racially
something?
Because
profiled is
I never
that
dealt
is
with
real.
that, and I don't know people that dealt with that or
Right.
anything. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
Right.
that's definitely a way to look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like somebody just said, Will Johnson here. He said Nipsey Hussle got killed by his own people. Prime example. Uh, blah blah blah. Don't need need discipline. But let me just say something. And this is on the Nipsey Hussle topic, just because it came up in the comments.
Mm.
I think Nipsey Hussle was a great artist. I listened to a lot of his music. He did great things for his community. However, what did people expect?
Right.
What do you expect? A guy that raps about being in gangs and doing all this kind of shit. You expect him to still not have heat on him or something? Like, come on. Like
Right.
like it's shocking. You're like, holy fuck. Like that is just shitty because it's a great loss. You know what I mean? Because he was so fucking talented
Right.
and so into business and tons of different things. But people mourn over the wrong fucking things. Like when Michael Jackson dies or some famous person fucking dies, you see 8 gajillion people on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube bitching and crying about it. But when military folks die in another country, or there's little babies being killed by terrorists or by people like Saddam Hussein who raped women and killed children and all that kind of shit, you don't see people crying about it on the same level. It just goes to show you what's important to people.
Right.
Well, you'll appreciate this. There's a saying we used to say, like when we were in the army and stuff. Everybody wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster shit. You know what I mean? Like everybody wants to play, bad guy, good guy, whatever, until it's, and then shit happens like that. Who was that guy with the Takachi 6ix9ine, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to play gangster. Now he's going to be, unless he keeps snitching, he's going to be in prison forever.
Right. Yeah. I don't claim I'm not gangster. I'm a
Me
educated
neither.
black man that is doing his damn thing. You know what I'm
It's just a
saying?
saying,
I
D.
mean,
Raj. You know,
like the thing, the thing, like who's somebody just said it right here. 302 said, "I don't know what I'm talking about with Nipsey. I know how to read. I know that it was one of Nipsey Hussle's close friends that killed him. That shot him or used to be friend. But so I mean, this the whole thing. Yeah, like when Pac died, people cried, and then we're right back to the fuck shit. You're right, Norman. Norman's 100% right. That's exactly what happens. Like people care about the wrong shit. Like conversations like this about the military, about things like that, to kind of try to for me to have opportunity to change your mind and for you to have
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to change mine.
Right.
For us to talk and discuss things might show me something different, might show you something different, and it might show
Right.
other people different. And until people have that open dialogue, when people still say, fuck white people, fuck black people, fuck Asians, whatever, people stay in that fucking mindset, then you're right back where you were in segregation.
Right.
Everybody's right back where, because everybody's got them fucking blinders on, man. Everybody's got
Right.
the blinders on. Just walking, how many white people back then pretended like blacks didn't even exist? You know what I mean? Until they
Right.
cross that imaginary line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what
People,
with segregation. Because I feel if someone doesn't like me, because again I've dealt with racist people before, and I in a way, and people probably take this the wrong way. I can respect you if you tell me exactly how you feel. Okay, if you don't like me, then you carry your ass over there. Okay, I'll carry
right?
my ass over there, and we ain't ever got to talk ever again. But the people who want to talk to me, and the people that I feel, in my opinion, if you think that way, you're going to be the one that loses. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not ready to learn from other people. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why this right here, what we're doing, like you said, I don't know what that said, but You know, just learning each other's opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't understand if there was like a real racist white person, I would get on here with them and talk with them as well. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to know. Talk to me, man. What's going on? You know what I'm
But
saying?
if
Now,
there
if
was
we
a
get,
real racist white person, I don't think they would talk to you. You know what I mean? I think they would just sit back and make their
they
videos
would.
talking about how wrong you are and
Have you
stuff.
heard of Have you
Some
heard of Marcus Garvey?
Who?
some of them
Marcus
would.
Garvey. Have you
No.
heard of him? He's from
Uh.
Jamaica. A very, very dark black man. Do you know he sat down with the leader of the KKK?
I mean, like guys like that, like the leader of the KKK, and it, most of those guys are normally pretty fucking intelligent. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird that you see somebody, or at least they appear to be so intelligent, but yet their minds are so fucking twisted.
Well, you got to
Right.
be
You know what I
pretty
mean?
smart to manipulate that many people. You know what I mean?
Oh, very true.
But Billy,
What's the
Billy, you should
difference in
look
us
up
fighting
Marcus
over?
Garvey. You'll be surprised. Look him up.
So
Garvey,
so let me.
Yeah,
Garvey.
DEY. Right.
Yeah.
So Kozart
Is he a
says,
YouTuber?
what's the
No,
difference?
what? No,
What,
no. He's no longer
so
alive,
what's
man. But
Oh, okay.
look him up. Look him up.
87 Kozart says, what's the difference in fighting over a block to get ownership, but the military you're not, which said stupid. But I type in fucking English, man. God damn, some
He
grammar would
he,
be
he
great.
may be angry.
What's the difference between black people fighting in the hood for drugs and blocks they don't own to go into the military and fighting for citizens? Like to me, uh, the the difference in my mind is in some cases, I think stuff that happens in hoods or whatever, I think some of that shit is unjustified. Like you kill somebody just because they walk on your side of the street.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like what? Where's the justification in that?
Right.
I mean, how do you justify that? You can't justify that to me. No way. Now there might be some kind of reason why you would want to hurt somebody or something like that, but the military, you have to remember, like, there's so many people that have frustrations with the military, but they have frustrations with the members of the military, not the gears that move the military. Does that make sense?
Right. But that's
Because
me. I have a problem with the
because
gears.
because what you have to understand is people in the military aren't just doing shit that they want to do. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I want to go to Iraq and kill some people today. No, that's
Right.
not what any soldier says just out of nowhere. They're not sitting in the backyard barbecuing with their boys and like, hey, you know what? Tomorrow's Sunday. We should go fuck some shit up in Canada. You know what I mean? Like they don't. That's not how it works. So like the frustration is with the wrong thing, and the only way to change that, the only way to get us out of being the world's policeman, the only way to get us out from being dependent on so many other things is to speak with your to show your frustration with your voice, one, but also to show with your actions. Vote people out of office. Get your get your ass up and fucking go get it. There's no difference in what I can attain for myself, Drodge, versus what you can attain for yourself. You and
Mm.
I are both men. We both are smart. We're both thinkers. We both have work ethic. We can all go and do the same thing. If you allow yourself to be limited by those that went before you, then you will never exceed them, ever.
Right.
You can't. If you say, "Oh well, I'm black, so that just means I'm screwed," that doesn't. Just because you're black doesn't mean you're fucking screwed. If you believe that and you don't try to overcome that shit, then you're no better than anyone else, ever.
Right.
Same
And
goes for me.
but
If I live in a
uh,
shitty town in a fucking trailer and I wear wife beaters, walk around with a beer gut all day, drinking Pabst
Hell
Blue
yeah.
Ribbon or whatever, if I'm just saying, well, I'm never gonna be none because I grew up in this fucking trailer park, I'm just another white trash. My mom's a meth addict, whatever the fuck. Then
Took
I'm
my
no
entire
better than
family.
anybody that came before. You can overcome all that shit. It's if people hustle, if people have drive, determination to fucking do
right.
better.
Yeah. But I will say, you know, I'm not the one that says that the country is against me or the white man's against me. because I really don't care. But I'm gonna get what I want. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what it is that I want to do. But there are some, situations, and again, you guys won't fully understand because you're not black, but it is some situations. Even like when I used to coach football, it would be guys less of a coach than me and would get the job I want because of who I was. One, I had long hair at the time, and because I wasn't a yes man. Again, I would always question. So they didn't like that because one, this is how I looked at it back then, but because I was black, and then two, because I always questioned what people were saying. You know what I'm saying? So I understand where you're coming from, but I'm not one of those people that complain about that.
Dude,
I'm gonna go get
listen,
what I want, but it's just
exactly, and I can agree with you 100%. There's a lot of things that you've experienced in your life that I will never experience.
right.
The shit that probably has happened to you or other black folks that will never happen to me because I am white. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So there's a lot of shit that I can't relate to. But
Right.
but I can tell you when it comes to the military, man, it doesn't fucking matter what color your skin is there. That shit don't matter at all. Does not fucking matter at all. Because when it comes down to it, like I was never shot at. I never shot at anybody.
Mm.
Not one fucking bullet, not one time, ever. But I can tell you that I have friends that have been in those situations, and I have seen guys hang out together that have been in those situations together, and it's like they were born from the same womb and grew up together. It doesn't matter what their skin color is,
Right.
because when there's people trying to take your fucking life just because you speak English and you were born in the U.S.,
Right.
you got
Now, I
each
will
other's
say,
back, man.
yeah, I will say, because I see some people, some of the guys on here saying, you know, that black people shouldn't go into the military, and I gotta disagree with that because again, I know a lot of black men who have benefit from the military. Okay, financially, people they know, rank and stuff like that. Um, Again, that goes towards you being the man who you are, being who you are, and going for what you want. Okay. And again, people will probably look at me different ways because I'm the line stepper. But like I said, I have family in the military, and I have family in the military that are active, living good, who are retired and living good. I have family who are active in lower ranks and who are not active lower ranks. So I can see both spectrums of being in the military, and I can see the benefit. So when people say, you know, fighting for your, because the military, in my opinion, a lot softer than what it used to be. You're not
Most
going into the
definitely.
military. A lot of people are not going into the military to go fight wars. People are going into the military to get ahead in life.
I
Is
would
that a
agree with
true
you.
statement?
Oh hell yeah,
Some of
I would
them
agree
are.
with
Some
you.
of them are going for other stuff like a sense of like I didn't go to advance or anything. I mean, like I never had any kind of like ambition or anything like that. I was just like I mean, like a lot of people who were like older than me from where I was from, they joined the military, and like it just got so in my mind. I was like, man, I gotta do this. You know what I
Mm,
mean? But it did make. I mean, it did help a lot. Like I got a GI Bill out of it. I used that to get like a criminal justice type of degree when I worked at the prison. It's helped me at every single one of the jobs I've gotten, if
right.
not if not directly, like just on the application and like we get different stickers for our trucks and stuff. That's stupid, but it's just everything, man. It's like I don't know. I don't
I mean,
think
I
I
think
would I wouldn't go back right now, and I don't know if I knew everything I knew now if I would do it when I did it. But
Uh,
I'm very very happy with my decision, the people I met. I had my kids, all that stuff. Like wouldn't trade any of that for the world.
but it sounds like I don't know. That's kind of I don't know. You said you wouldn't go back, but you said you
I, I
what's
would,
that mean?
man. I don't know if I could if I wanted to, man. I've gained so much weight in my back. It's I do flatbed now, and like sometimes, man, like all I can do is crawl back there and go to sleep at the end of the day. You know what I mean? After
Right.
it's just It just broke me down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Probably because I carried around more weight than I should have the whole time I was there. Because I was always, I never had I never had to live under the same regime as everybody else. Because I was always like, come home for 15 months, leave for 12 months. Come home for 14 months, leave. You know what I'm saying? So they never had time to like, like we never got, said I wasn't great at PT. I was pretty good at my job, but I wasn't good at running. And I
Right.
think climbing up and down stuff, jumping around, carrying things with my extra weight I carry around, it broke me down, man.
Mm, right. And that's what because that stuff y'all got to go through, man. Again, I hope this don't take this as disrespect, but I had to carry the diaper bag, for my wife, and it was heavy. Okay, now don't take that the wrong way. I don't want to seem disrespect to any veterans because I know it's not the same. Okay, but I had to carry the diaper bag, and I had to, it was like a
Fucking
book bag,
diaper bag.
and my back hurt. Okay, so I know exactly. Hey, it's tough. Okay.
Diaper
Look,
bag.
I hope any veterans that are in here that are not on the lot, like in the panel or whatever, please don't make a video. It's kind of like trying to lighten up the mood because you guys are really angry in the comments right now. So please
I
do
think
not get
they're not
angry.
even
Hey, I noticed
they're
that
arguing with
I
each
noticed
other.
that when Lil Dog shared my video out, because like most of the time I've only got 400 subs, right? So I've got the same 20 or 30 people that comment on all my videos. I got the same 100 and some people that watch all my videos. When Lil Dog shared my video out, it was like the amount of hate I seen for D-Rodge, like, and then people sticking up for D-Rodge, hating on me. And then I'm like, did you watch my video? Like, I didn't even really say anything that bad about D-Rodge.
Right,
It's
You know what I'm saying? I said I like D-Rodge. I watched his videos. She
right,
almost went to Stevens when I first started out because I was watching your videos when I was looking at companies.
let,
right.
let me say that in a roundabout way, I'm a little bit responsible for some of the hate that D-Raj got
Oh
on
yeah,
there
oh yeah,
because when I went live and I'm talking about it, people sense my frustration
right.
and 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 I guess I mean, and I do apologize for some of the hate you got, not all of it,
No,
some
no.
of it,
Hey, look
because
again.
I'm glad because I'm
Let me.
glad you felt because we're doing this video now because
Right,
of it.
right. I'm gonna be honest with you. Again,
And
when it comes to the social media stuff and YouTube, like I was not angry. Okay, I was not angry. That stuff does not get to me because everybody. I believe you have your own opinion. If it got to you, and
Hey, listen, they're
for
not gonna
you to
let you
be
on
willing
my
to come on
network
here,
after having two white guys on your channel. I'm just saying.
right? But again, that's what the whole reason I want to use the Google Hangout so we can have conversations like this. You know what I'm saying? So it's I wasn't angry at all with that. People have their opinion. Some of the stuff that people would say, I would laugh because I'm like, you really don't know. You know what I'm saying? And some of the people making comments, they ain't even really seen the clip. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because it was
I was ready though if you
Well,
came out and was like, "Fuck the military." I was ready. I was gonna make another video then. I was like, but no, we need to chill out and wait. I was like, because who knows, man? TB, he seems funny like that. I was like, he may have cut that up the way he wanted to. You know what I mean?
no, that was all. That was
no,
Yeah.
no cut.
I could tell it wasn't cut. I was surprised it actually made it out there.
Oh
I can
yeah,
tell
yeah.
you that.
He,
That
he
surprised me.
we talked. He was like, "Ooh, man, that's gonna bring a lot of heat to you." And I said, "No, sir. That's if I said it, I said it. Put it out there." You know what I'm saying? So, and it is. That's what I believed in. And again, this is giving me the opportunity to explain. This is what I meant. So some of the people who are, because people take this stuff and will get really angry. So hopefully they're watching.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, for a lot of folks, man, the military is just like a racial topic. It evokes a passion
Right.
in a lot of people. Whether it's, it might be about race or sex or religion or the
Oh yeah.
military or government, whatever it is, but it evokes passion out of people. People have emotions over it. So whether it's love or hate frustration, whatever it is. That's why, you know, you say like the heat comes up or people get more involved or there's more comments or whatever. It's because you're striking a nerve somewhere,
Right.
whether it's good or bad, but you're getting people to talk. You know what I mean? People
Right.
should be able to come on YouTube, especially in a space as diverse as trucking is,
Mm-hmm.
and talk about different issues without the fear of all of the hate and the evil shit that comes with it. You know what I mean? Yes, you're going to have people disagree with you. You have every right to your opinion, and I have every right to mine. You know, and I hate to say it, but Trucker Brown was right when he said in that video that you can have your opinion, and no, you can't be. What did he say? Because what did you
He
say?
said you can be. He said you can
You can have your.
you can
I
be
forget the word he used.
They can be mad at you, but they can't persecute you for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Because you can be mad at you. I can not agree.
Because
with
you
your
said
opinion, but
you can't be
send
mad
you
at me
to
for
jail
that. And he
it.
said they can be
Right.
mad. They just can't
Right.
persecute you for it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what he
Yeah.
said. So, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just an emotional thing for a lot of people. I think that's why it struck a nerve with me, with Billy, with other people on both sides. It would be the same way if I came out and said something derogatory towards black folks or Asian folks or whatever, or if you came out and said something derogatory towards somebody. You know what I mean? Same thing. You're gonna get an emotional reaction out of people, and that's what it did. And like, to go back to what you were saying earlier about people benefiting from the military, I think anybody and everybody that wants to should have the opportunity to join the military for whatever reason they want. If they want to join the military because of a GI Bill and it'll pay for their college when they get out, fuck, by all means, go do it, because it's going to make you better in the long
Right.
run. Whether you serve, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, it doesn't matter. Take advantage of everything that the military has to offer you.
Yeah.
Take advantage of the fact that you can travel the world. Take advantage of the fact that they're going to put you through some legit job training you're not going to get in your community. I can't walk down the road here in the little town that I live in and get the type of training that, a nuclear engineer or somebody like the military will teach you to be in a submarine or whatever. You know what I mean? You can't walk down the road here and walk into a building and somebody's going to say, "Oh, Drodge, we're going to teach you how to be a medic right here, free of charge, and you can use that when you get out to get a job and advance yourself in life." You know what I mean? This doesn't exist anywhere.
I will advise people, though, if you join the military, have some kind of consideration for what job you're taking, because you're not going to go infantry and then like have that translate to anything once you get out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I was a 13 Fox, which is a forward observer for artillery. Don't take that job and expect to get any kind of like major job offers. I mean, I could have went and worked on software or something, but I have no passion for that at all.
David Pitts, I was in the Navy, bro.
Navy.
I was in the Army, 6.5 years.
See, like, right, I know you guys can't see it, but I was aviation ordnance. I built bombs and missiles.
I got mine too, little dog.
And there you go. See, I was aviation ordnance. I built bombs, missiles, and worked on weapon systems on fighter jets and helicopters and shit. So what I did in the military has no translation to the civilian world. So what Billy was saying,
unless you go work on a military base teaching software.
Right. Like, if I've been trying for years to get in to the base here where I live.
But everybody wants those jobs.
Yeah, they're very hard to get into, and once people get into them, they never leave, because there is a civilian side to my job, but it's very limited. But like right here behind me, like the military, I haven't been in the military for years, but like this right here, this is a shipping crate for a fucking radar dome for an F-18 fighter jet. I have 50 caliber ammo cans right here from bullets that I got to shoot out the side of a fucking helicopter. You know what I mean? Just tons of shit. And that's the shit that evokes the emotion, those memories, that passion that you had. So that's why these get so heated. That's why people get so upset. I want to shave Drodge's head now.
No,
you know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
What would it take? What would it take, Drodge, to get your head shaved?
Nothing. I cut my hair before one time.
Right.
I'll never do it again.
Why? Did you look all funny?
No, I'm a guy that likes to be as natural. Just let my hair
You
go,
So
and
why do
you
you
got a
got
bump.
your
You got a
Instagram
you.
picture as a hair with? Why is your Instagram picture a picture with no hair then?
it's just Instagram
Oh,
to show people I can do it
I
either.
thought you missed it.
No, no,
Like
no.
I thought
That's
you
just to
missed
let people know I can do it
both.
any kind of way. I look good regardless. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is.
Yeah.
But the reason again, that's what I'm saying. I cut my hair the first time. I had a job
So
interview with the Washington Redskins to be an assistant coach. Okay, like to the wide receivers, and they told me that more than likely you're not going to get the job with this hair because they weren't ready for it. And I had the neat ones. Right now, I have this is
Was that
freeform, so I just let it do.
was that
So,
before RG3?
huh? Oh yeah, it was way before that. That was it was probably like about 10, 15 years ago.
so if
And
you if one of your kids wanted to join the military, what would you tell them?
no,
What if they did it anyway? Would you disown them?
I won't
Would you
disown
never
them,
talk to
but
them again?
if like I watched Forrest Gump the other day. If a bug jump up and bite you in your ass, don't come to me crying, okay? Because hey, I told you not to go in there. But see, again, I'm trying to set my son up to where, or my children, to where they don't have to do that.
Okay, maybe they won't have to do that, but what if they really want to?
Hey, do your thing.
What
I'm
if?
not doing it.
But you would support them, wouldn't you?
Let's see. When you say support, then what do you mean by that?
Encourage them.
No, I wouldn't encourage them. I'll just say that's what you want
I'm
to do.
not saying. I'm not saying you encourage them by putting it in your head. Like talk to them and say, "Oh, hey, you should join the military." I'm saying, what if they come home from school or something and decided that he wanted to go fly planes or
Or if
decide
your
they want to go be medics or whatever the case is.
or if your son
Whatever they
wanted more
want to do.
information and he wanted you to take him to a recruiter, would you take him to a recruiter?
Nah,
Or is he got to find his own ride?
he got to find his own
So
ride. Cause see, all that stuff that he
so
want to do, by the time he gets to that age, I should have the money to. You want to learn how to fly planes? I go put you in flying plane school. Okay, no sir. Again, because again, I would
What if
if
he says, Dad, all I want to do is make the green grass grow?
I got fertilizer in the
You know
back,
what make
but
you know what makes the green grass grow, right?
nah, I don't.
Blood, bright red blood.
Oh nah, see, yeah, I
see,
don't. Nah,
David makes a point here. Like he says, Obama and Trump never served in the military. Um, I do know Trump went to a military school, boarding school, which isn't even the same. But I don't believe that someone should be able to be president without serving in the military. And I'll tell you why. Because that person, the president of the United States, is the commander in chief, and they can decide with the stroke of a pen to send thousands of men and women into harm's way.
right.
And I think them never having that over them, you know what I mean? Like no one ever being able to do that to them takes a lot of the feeling out of it, takes some of the thought out of it, the compassion or emotion, however you want to put it. So I don't think a president should be able to be president without serving in the military. They should
I
know
agree with
what
that.
that feels like.
I agree
They
with
should
that.
know what that feels like.
Yeah,
Now,
I definitely agree with that because they would be more before they send troops out to battle. They
mhm.
would understand. Now, well, I would say if we're gonna do that, they have to be engaged in battle because again, we have some military people that are, you know, again, they
I,
just going to get their school paid for or something like that. So they probably still wouldn't understand, sending troops off the battle.
Mhm.
and I don't agree with that either because if you just take people with military experience, then then you're so what what percentage serves in the military? It's like a percent of a percent, right? So you can't say this guy like this is a qualification to be
Right.
president of the country when only like a percent of a percent of the population has even served a day in the military. You know what I
Right.
mean? Much less deployed to overseas. You know what I mean? And saying that, like this guy's more qualified, like saying this guy's more qualified to serve because he did a
I
year
know
and a
that
half
David
in the
Pitts.
national. Well, he did a year and a half in the National Guard, so he's more qualified than Obama to be president or Trump to be president because he did a year and a half in the National Guard. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of
I
crazy.
agree. Yeah, that's because because it could be the wrong person because it could be uh
Or you just get a bunch of war dogs in there
right, right.
and
So
they
I,
solve
I
all
agree
the
with
problems
I
of
agree
war.
with
You know
you.
what I mean? If you just have
Yeah.
old head generals serving as president, and now all they want to do is be like, oh well, I got to watch out for these guys. I'm gonna make all my buddies from this unit. I'm gonna put them in charge of this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how that's how
Well,
I remember the
I mean,
army
but
working.
that's also how it's also
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
broken apart. I mean, you got the Joint Chiefs and advisors and the Secretary of Defense and all that kind of shit. But I don't know. I just think it's. I mean, I see Apocalypse in here too. That's my
Yeah,
dude
so
right there, Army Ranger. I watched a video today on YouTube, believe it or not, of Army Rangers jumping out of a helicopter into a fucking lake, and I was like, that looks pretty fun.
right. So Will Johnson said, how would
Would you
USA
not
do
jump
with
out
a
and
shitty
do it?
military? Do you think you'll be able to drive fancy cars and live in suburbs and not get fucked up?
No,
Mm.
you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. Because we'd be part of some other country if we had a weak ass
Mm.
military.
That it's just I don't know, man.
You got like look at it this way. Like I don't know like if you walked into an arena and you were supposed to be in a UFC fight,
Mm.
right? And your objective is to win, right? Your objective is to win because you win $1 million if you win the fight or whatever the case is. You only get money if you win, if you beat the guy. Are you gonna fight the 350-pound dude that's walking around like this, like he could just rip you to pieces, or are you gonna fight the dude that looks like Little Guy Trucker? You know what I'm saying? Like who are you gonna fight the big
I thought
dude
he was.
that's
Hey, Will, I
that's
thought he was
benching
special forces
550?
though.
I don't even want to get into that shit because that hadn't been proven yet. But like, I don't want to bring that shit on Drodge's channel. But like the but that's why America has a military the way it does, because other countries look at us and it's about power, it's about might, it's about saying don't fuck with us because we'll tear your ass up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That's why our ships are bigger. That's why we have more planes. That's why we have more soldiers. That's why we have the best weapons. That's why we try to advance further than anybody does. That's why our military does more. That's why we have uh you know bases all around the fucking world.
Mm.
It's basically telling people don't fuck with us, don't mess with us, man. Like we're bigger than you, we're more powerful, all this kind of shit. It doesn't make us better, makes us scarier, that's for sure. You know what I
But
mean?
we
But some,
also we also put those bases in places where we've had issues in the past, kind of like as a hey man, don't be fucking around, like Germany and Japan and uh, Korea and all those places. Those are all places we had issues with. So we got to keep
yeah.
them.
So
We got to
so
make sure they don't get out of line again.
so we have a
No,
person that
100%.
served in the military, Mr. David
Come here.
Pitts. He had a comment on there. Little dog, let's be honest. I served in Saudi, and that shit was not about the red, white, and blue.
Turn
What
around. Come out. Stick your head out here. Over here. No, go ahead. Sorry. Just putting my wife on the
geopolitical and
spot.
economic interests? Come on.
Yeah, David, I think you got here a little late or something, man. We were talking about that earlier about oil and the reason our military goes into other areas. And yes, majority of the shit that happens in the Middle East is to protect the oil, 100%, because people don't want to pay $25 for a loaf of bread. It's just, it's the facts of
America.
life, man.
Right.
People do not want that. If tomorrow oil prices went through the roof, if everything tripled, and you had to pay triple for everything, you couldn't afford it.
Everybody wants to eat
People
hot dogs. Nobody wants to know how they're made.
So
exactly.
is David Pitts? Are you still in the military? David Pitts. Not every white hate group is still active today. Woo! Why can't we all just get along?
I don't understand why everything gets so. See, like that's a problem. Let me point this out. And
Oh
see
no,
if you
he's not
agree
in there.
with me. Let me point this out. See if you agree with me. If anyone else in the comments agrees with me. Do you notice how when people try to have a discussion, like right now, if I was having a talk with Trucker Brown about him realistically not taking home $6,000 in a fucking week, okay? If I was having a conversation with him about that, it would because somebody in the fucking comments would take it from a professional conversation to a racial conversation.
Mm.
Every single fucking time. Every time they'd be like, "Oh, Will, you're just saying that because he's a black man doing good." No,
Yeah,
I'm saying that because you can't fucking net $6,000 in a week pulling freight for fucking Prime. You can't do it. You can't do it. I know people that have been there over 20 fucking years that own their truck's title in hand and they don't do it.
Well,
I'm flat rate.
Everybody.
I don't know. I'm flat rate. I don't know.
It is race though,
but
because you're white and he's black.
I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you to take no sides. I'm just saying, do you realize how somebody always takes it to a racial thing? Get race out of the fucking equation. Because not every white guy hates black people. Not every black guy hates white people. You understand? Yes, are there people that do? Fuck yes, there are. 100% legit, there are. But not everybody you encounter in life is. Let your guard down a little bit. Try to see someone else's fucking perspective, for crying out loud. God damn. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Truckers talk about race to get YouTube hits.
I can't agree with that one because we didn't start talking about race. It was in the comments first.
Here's the thing too. I think that there are some YouTubers, okay, that do 100% use their race as an advantage. Okay, that use it as an advantage, which by all means go ahead, but don't evoke hate in others towards others because you do that.
All is fair in love and YouTube.
What about when y'all asses in the civilian world got off 4th of July and Veterans Day?
Will Johnson over here. See, that's what I'm saying, Will. You tell him, Will Johnson.
Hey, look, hey, Will, I don't really celebrate holidays. Well, I do. Actually, I do now. My birthday and Christmas, okay? For my birthday, I want books. For Christmas, I want books. So I do celebrate that. But like the 4th of July and I still go to work.
Hey, don't say nothing bad about the 4th of July. It's my favorite holiday.
Yeah, see, it don't really. It's not a.
What don't you like? Barbecue, fireworks.
It's just another day to me.
Why you gotta bring up barbecue? Is that a black thing?
Hey, don't go there. Texas has got
I don't
the best
hate white
barbecue.
people, but y'all have grown a lot of bullshit.
And it's mostly white people that cook it. So.
Yeah, I don't really do the I don't do that stuff. I don't care.
I love barbecue.
But only holidays I really recognize is my birthday and holidays because I want people to buy me books.
What kind of books? Any kind of books?
Law, taxes, business, health.
You should.
I love this dude's comments. I don't even know.
You should just watch YouTube videos. They're way better than books.
Nah. I need books, man. I need like Warren Buffett. All that stuff.
Does Warren Buffett have a YouTube channel?
No, but he has books. That's what I want people to buy me. I want to know how to become a $80 billion man.
I have a question, D-Raj. I'm reading this comment right
here.
Because 87 Kozar here wants to keep it about race. So he says, this conversation was about black unity, but white people are mad for some reason. so let me ask this question. If black people are gathering in a group to protest civil rights or protest whatever, that's black unity. If white people are in a group, that's hate. Was that what I'm getting out of this? Because that's what it seems like this dude's trying to say. I think you know what happened? I bet you a white dude stole this man's girlfriend at one time, and that's why he's hating white people so much.
Hey, you never know, but
I bet you that's what happened.
It's just and some is propaganda. The media puts it out there, because it's better to have us in war with each other than to be in unity because
Oh, dude, yes, fucking
I got you.
100%. Thank you for saying that
A
because I
people
agree with that.
without a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots.
mm, people
Marcus
I
are
Garvey.
tribal by nature.
I think I think
There you go.
you're 100% right, D-Rush. Because look at it. If we all if we all like the similar things, or if we all just coexisted and got along, what I mean, what would the news do? Would they be like, oh, would they do news stories about people getting married? You know what I mean?
Mm,
Weather and sports.
Weather and sports and happy shit. Where would the views be? Because everybody
right.
would be happy.
So
Weather
now
and
Dre
sports and obituaries.
302 Dre has a point here. White people never had to gather for civil rights.
So women never had to gather for the right to vote or equal pay.
Mm, I would say, but see that right there, I'm a little different on that. Now I'll probably have women mad at me.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
what about Forrest Gump? He went to a Black Panther rally.
Yeah, yeah, he did, but that was fictional. But I don't know. Was it
Is
was
it?
Forrest
I
Gump
mean,
like
it's
real or
based
something?
on historical events, though.
Oh, for real? Oh, I don't know.
I didn't know
It
that.
was a great movie though. But it was somebody that said something I wanted
What?
to let me see. Speaking of race,
I did. Do you want your phone back?
D-Rod, don't you think
You're talking
trucking
so.
is great because you can be whoever you want in the truck, flag waving, or the I don't know what that means. I thought it was something I wanted to read, but no. So I want to tell y'all something. This is probably gonna make you angry. I just want to see what you're gonna say. Um, I think I know what you're gonna say, being serious or being smart, but I have not stood or standed it for the national anthem for about 7 or 8 years. Now that's because of how I feel towards one, the government, two, the military, and three, from the past, what that flag stood for. Now I
Let
don't
me.
hate people, but I just when I did my reading and again seeing how they treat the veterans, I just couldn't do it.
Well, first of all, uh, I admire you for saying that because that is a very touchy subject for people.
Right,
But let me also say that you have the right to do that.
right,
Do I agree with it? No. Do I think it makes you un-American? Fuck no. I don't think it
right,
makes you any more or less American than me or anyone else because you have the right to do so. And like again, the reason that particular act upsets so many people is because what you have to understand is the mindset of a soldier or a sailor or an airman or marine in the military is that we're fighting for that flag. That's what we're fighting for. You know,
right,
that's what we're fighting for the rights that flag provides for people. And when people do that, we don't see that you're like the way Donald Trump put it was completely wrong. Like I don't see it as disrespect towards the country or towards the flag. I don't. It's not disrespect towards the flag
right,
because you don't stand for a national anthem or you kneel or whatever the case is. To me, I saw it as disrespect for the people that fought for those rights.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like that's how I see it. Towards people like me, like the apocalypse, like David, like Billy, you know, people that were in the military. That's how I see it. I understand why people did it or why they continue to do it because it garners attention. Do I think that it was the right way to go about it? No, I don't agree with it, but it got people talking.
right,
You know what I mean? And that was the point. That was the whole point of it. Does
right,
it piss me off when I see people that don't stand and take their hat off for the national anthem? Of course it does.
right,
But I don't go beat their ass or cuss them out for it. It's their right to be able to do that. Just as though it's your right, you know, given to you by the people that have fought for those rights year and year and year after to do the things that you do. If it weren't for the flag, if it weren't for the military, D-Raj, you wouldn't be able to own a fucking business. If you were in another country where you didn't have the rights that you have in America, your family probably wouldn't be as well off as they are. Your children probably wouldn't be able to what they're going to have in the future if you were in another country.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like and that might be my twisted view of how I see things.
Mm.
But to me, the flag stands for something.
Right.
It reminds me of a lot of things. It reminds me of a lot of history and a lot of stories. And some of that history is fucking tainted. And
Right.
it's okay to admit that. Right? It's okay to say that, yes, sometimes the flag can be seen as something that people surround themselves with as like a shield for them to be able to do evil shit. And that's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's that's 100% wrong, man. But it's your right to do that. You don't have to stand for the fucking pledge.
Okay. Good night. Oh, good night. But yeah, I just wanted,
Just don't go out there and burn the damn thing on the street. Now that shit there will piss me off.
Yeah, no, I ain't got time for all that. Now here go the flag bullshit. But no, it's just and I'm not gonna be to be on a part of that too. Is playing sports as much sports as I played, like standing for the national. That was a lot. It was like, whew, So it was just that, and then once I actually learned some things, I just like nah, but I'm not disrespectful because I have my views, my opinion. The next man next to me has his. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be disrespectful in doing and explaining my views as long as they don't come at
Right.
Colin Kaepernick got paid for that. But hey
I don't.
man, I guess so.
Whether Kaepernick got paid for it or not, it started a conversation.
Right. It did.
Which I think is something that America needed. Because I think until that moment, until someone on his level actually got involved in civil rights and talking about things like that, I think it was kind of one of those things that was I want to say like swept under the rug. You know what I mean? Like everybody kind of knew it was there, but we put it in the closet and didn't really think about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you think he lost a lot of credibility though when he didn't when he said that he doesn't vote?
No.
No.
Not. I don't vote.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like voting is like the thing we can do to try to change things.
I,
In
I,
a,
I, I,
in a sense,
it's
yeah, but I think our system of voting
flawed.
is twisted. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely flawed because a presidential candidate can win the popular vote but lose the election,
Right.
which makes no sense to me. I don't understand how that is even possible. So so when like I don't know if you've ever watched any kind of political shows or anything like that, but if I'm into things like House of Cards and West Wing and all that kind
Yeah,
of
I
shit. I
like
watch
House of
tons of that
Cards.
stuff. But like if you watch like when presidential elections are run, they don't care about the people per se, about the people that are voting. They care about the electorate. They care about
Right.
the electoral college. They care about that 13 or 11 or 15 or whatever people in that state. And that's where the flaw is.
Mm.
Because that small amount of people can be greatly affected. You know
Right.
what I mean? Imagine if somebody like Donald Trump, for example, who has tons of money, if he went around and you know gave or donated X amount of dollars to each one of those electorates around the country, they could win the election in a landslide.
Right.
You know what I mean? If it was on the popular vote as a whole, no one has that much money. No one could do that.
Yeah.
A billionaire can go in and buy a state. If it has like 5 people that decide who that state electoral votes go towards.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the truth, and that's why it's just you know I just
I think
I
Donald Trump's
figure.
an idiot, by the way. I'm just putting that out there.
You think what?
I said I think Donald Trump's an idiot.
Yeah.
Great businessman, but does not know how to lead people for shit.
Yeah. 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 But it's a part. You know, he tells you what people don't like about him is he doesn't sugarcoat his thoughts to people.
I agree to an
He's a
extent.
businessman. He's not going to.
I agree to an extent. However, I think when you're in that position, when you are the president of the United States, you have to be presidential, right?
Right.
But you have to be. Like, I mean, for example, and let's make this about race for a second. If Obama walked around like, like, and used tons of slang and different things, what would people say about him? They would
Right.
say, "Oh, he's hood or he's a thug or whatever the fuck," right? But he wasn't like that. And whether he was like in real life, who the fuck knows? But he was presidential. You know what I mean? I wasn't a supporter of Obama. I didn't like a lot of his political decisions, but I respected him as the president. You know what I mean? Because it's our president, man. I
Right.
mean, and that president reflects on us as a people, regardless. I mean,
Right.
to other nations, do you think other nations give a shit what D-Rosh thinks or what Lil Dog thinks or what Billy thinks or no? But when the president gets on the fucking TV or sends out a tweet acting like an idiot, the whole world sees
Right.
that shit. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, look at those fucking shitty Americans. That's what they think about
Right.
us. He reflects on us. And by the way, go look this up, people. This is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. 50 Cent did an interview with Stephen Colbert a while back, and he hit it. He hit the nail on the head. He's like, if you seen Trump's face the night he got elected, he's like, oh shit. Like he was surprised that he won. Like he didn't want to win. You know
Right.
what I mean? I don't know if you ever saw that interview, but he 50 Cent's talk. It was the funniest shit I ever seen because it's. I don't think Trump wanted to win. I really don't think he wanted to win.
Right.
I don't
Right.
think he ever expected to fucking win. I think he ran just to kind of raise ratings for his TV show or to gain popularity. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he ever ran thinking he would get the Republican nomination, let alone the fucking presidency. I think
Right.
he was at the. I think that night when the results came in and he won, he was like, "Oh shit,
I actually got to do something now.
yeah,
Right.
Have you seen that video from like it's a video of like all these clips before he became president of all the people laughing and joking about how he was never going to be president and like it's like a long clip. It's like all these news people like
yeah."
Trump's never going to win. Trump doesn't stand a chance. Even Obama like laughing like you'll never be president and stuff. It's a
Yeah,
hilarious. That's pretty funny too.
But people
I,
saying he gonna get his second. He gonna get a second term.
I'm gonna tell you this: the the only way he will get a second term is if we continue to gain jobs, if the economy continues to gain jobs and stays good. I think there's a recession coming. I really do.
If there's
Um,
I
and
think it
if he
depends on what the
and I'll tell
Democrats do too.
well that too,
If
but
they put
also
Beto out there, everybody's gonna vote for Trump just out of like being scared of Beto being president. I don't know if you know who
well
Beto O'Rourke is. He's down here in Texas with
I'm gonna
us.
tell you who I think
Real
will
quick,
be the next
Stu,
shocker as
Donald Trump
president.
doesn't pay taxes.
I'll tell you. I forget her name.
Ooh.
But it's a female House rep from I think she's from New York. She's a Democrat. Uh,
AOC.
yeah, the Hispanic lady. She will be a presidential candidate one day. I promise you. She's not old enough yet to run for president, but she will be one day,
Hey,
and I would vote for her.
I don't. Can you see the comments, little dog?
No, I can't, man. I had my wife's phone using it to look at the comments,
Oh, okay.
so I can't see them. What do you
There's
got?
there's a question I gotta ask it because it's a super chat. It says little blank. It doesn't say little dog, but it says
It
little
says little
something.
dick. It says
No, it
little
doesn't say
Little
dick.
that.
mutt.
But it says, do you think black people deserve reparations?
No,
Oh, what?
no.
Can I get my money? I was promised, okay, 40 acres and a mule. I need that. What do you, what, you know,
Uh, here's the thing about what I think about reparations. Um, I think to an extent some people do deserve them. However, I think black people as a whole uh, do not. I don't think you fix anything by giving everybody X amount of dollars. Okay, I don't think that fixes anything. What does that do?
That's
Depends
what
on how
they,
much it is, though.
but that's what they did for the banks when they did the stimulus package.
That was done under Bush, and I'll tell you that was one of the dumbest things America ever did. And most of that money, a large majority of that money, didn't even stay in the country, believe it or not.
Spunky 1991. You got to relax, buddy. You know, we're not lazy.
But my thing is what I'm saying is I don't think all black people as a whole deserve reparations. For example, um, not every black family was affected by slavery. Now, on the adverse side of that, what you could say is everybody that's black was affected by slavery because of the racial shit, right? Because I'm black, I look like people that or whatever. Does that make sense? Kind of what I'm saying
Mhm.
there. I just don't think that every black person in America deserves X amount of dollars because of shit that happened years ago, right? I think that those certain families probably do for sure, 100%, because
And I think
there's probably
because
some families that were put through way worse shit than others. But
right.
tell me this: well, if just because you were black, you got $100,000, what problem does that fix for your race?
Let's see what problem. I would say I'm
Because
more of
because you
not
because by you having $100,000, it's not going to fix the fact that people talk to you different or look at you different because you're black. It's not going to fix that. It's like putting duct tape over a hole in a boat.
right.
It's only going to last so long.
But
Have
see,
they
I
have they
would
said
say
how much money reparations is going to be?
I
Somebody
would say
somebody did the math on it. How much was it, Drodge? Do you know off the top of your
no.
head? I saw the story. I saw the article about how much it would have been if you translated it into today's equivalent. Somebody in the comments will know. I'm sure somebody saw the story.
Let's see,
I
I'm a
watched
black
the video.
man,
I read the story.
KingDrodge, truck driver for seasons. I know not all of us are lazy. Okay, I was just making sure it's funky. But what I would say with the reparation, I would say don't give me $100,000. Okay, if that's what it is. And it really, I feel stupid even saying what I'm about to say, but give me land, okay? Because it's not really giving me land because the land it doesn't belong to the government. It doesn't belong to the United States. It
Right.
doesn't belong to anybody. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna give me anything, because what in my understanding of why I feel we deserve it is because when this country was building itself, when the country was building itself and they stopped slavery, it was okay. There's no slavery, but you can't get the jobs that we have. You can't have the land you go over there in the muck, and that's what you have. So now we're having to catch up because we had to build ourselves out of the mud in this country. You know what I'm saying? So that's why
I agree with you.
we could probably be a lot further because when I'm driving in the 757 or in Atlanta, and I see these big old houses in the country with all this land, and I see a white man walk outside. It's like, damn man, like you need all this grass? What you don't even have horses or cows, man. You just got a nice lawn. Like let why I can't have some of that, and that's what they're coming from when they ask that question because we've had to fight. And again, can I say that I'm affected in other ways with racial profiling, but um, I've earned everything that I have. I did the work. I did the research. Um, I'm not going to say I don't deserve, but like I said with TV when we talk, at the
So
same time, I'm not going to dwell on that because I'm going to go get what I want. But do I
so
think we deserve it? I
here's
do.
a question. Here's a question that I have for you. Like how old are you?
35.
Okay, so you're a year younger than I am, and are how old are your parents?
50s,
Okay, in their 50s. So they were born in the 70s, late 60s,
somewhere
something
around
like
there.
that.
Yeah. Let me
So
see.
so do
Yeah,
you
60.
so like your parents and your grandparents, do you think they deserve reparations more than you do?
More than I do. I wouldn't say
Yes.
more than I do. I just deserve. I think.
Why? Why would you say they don't deserve it more? Because I think they deserve it more than you do.
Oh no, that's what. Hold on. I don't know if I heard it right. Do they deserve? Yes, that's what I meant. Yes, they do.
Okay, so you think that black men that are your age or younger still deserve reparations just because their family, their older generation went through shit? Because I don't
Because
think that I don't listen. And people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I do not think that that black men and women in their 20s or 30s suffered the same way that your parents or your grandparents did.
right,
So therefore, I think if anybody was to get reparations, like I was trying to say, was the certain people in the families, like the older members of the families that actually went through that shit. You know what I mean? Like
right,
those are the people I think that do deserve what they were promised,
right.
right?
And
Or that their
but see,
families
that's
are
the
promised.
thing too.
I don't think you deserve it because you didn't have to drink from a colored only fountain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You
But
didn't
my
grow up in that
grandparents
time,
did.
but
My
yes,
father
but
did.
they did. Exactly. But so they did.
But
You
I'm
know what I
saying,
mean? So
if they would have got it, I may be in a different position.
maybe.
Because see, what happens is the way that the difference in money when I'm changing my family tree. You know, again, that's why I don't understand why truck drivers are so mad because I'm changing my financial tree, like Dave Ramsey say. But
Right.
I'm going to be able to pass down money to my son. So where I started at when when I'm right now at 35, my son should be way above where I am. Okay, when he turns 35, and that's what when black people feel okay. I can
Generational wealth.
right. I could be
And
at a
that's and
if
that's the
my
way it
family
should be
had
though.
land or what it was given what they were promised,
Hmm.
we could probably be on a different level. That's what I'm saying. And then me
No,
getting that, I could probably send some money back down to my grandparents. Again, I'm saying I feel we do
okay.
deserve it,
I
but my grandmother, she has her own. She had her own salon, her own church. My grandfather had his own business. They have their own house. They got their own land. They got a bunch of property. Okay, and but I still feel they deserve whatever they deserve. You know what I'm saying? But again, they
and
still fought
I
out of
agree.
that and got to where they are.
Yeah, I agree. And if and but also think about it this way: if your grandparents could do it, why can't young black men do it today?
They are.
But I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. But it seems to me like a lot of people play on that, like saying that they can't. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
It's some
Like
people
it,
that do that.
like saying that they're unable to, but they are able to, and they can. They're just unwilling to try, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But I agree with you. I think that maybe your life would be different. But I'm saying right now, the topic of discussion right now, reparations that has come up recently, I don't think that you or Trucker Brown or anybody in our age group deserve to be handed anything. I think your family should get it, the older generation, for sure, because they went through that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? They got talked down to. They got, called fucking names. They got fucking hosed or
But we
stoned
still
or
get
whatever
called
the
names
fuck happened.
today. I've been called.
See, you're taking me down the wrong road, D-Raj. I'm
Hey,
gonna
that's
lose.
what we're here for, man. We learning.
I'm a, I'm gonna lose a lot of fucking friends. Okay, I think I think that nowadays, regardless of how it's justified, I think um, young black men and women make it seem like it's okay to say things that they shouldn't, that
Right.
other people shouldn't. I think it's wrong.
Now let me tell you.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you a secret. Just be real with you. I don't mind white people calling me the N word. You know
But
why?
see,
Do you know?
but I
Do you know
might.
where the N word came from?
I know what it means in the dictionary.
No, no, but we're like what it is now is totally different than where they got it from. You know where what it means, like the origin, what it means.
Someone did tell me before. but I do forget.
It means king in Africa. That's where it came from. That when you call it in Africa, they call the king Negus, Negus. So it went from that to
Yeah,
this.
but see,
So
but now it means something completely different. You know what I'm saying?
right.
At
But again,
least
that's what I'm saying. I
in
don't.
today's time.
Yeah, but again, when you know your stuff,
Right. Okay.
you're calling me a king. That's what you know.
Did you
Because
know?
at first I wanted to
Did you
put
know the
that on
first
my
slave
as my
owner was
name,
black? Did you know that?
huh?
Did you know the first slave owner was black?
Hmm. I you know I don't let me see. I know that black Africans sold some of their slaves to the white man. Yeah, I know that.
But see, like shit's so different now. Like, but what I'm saying is, I think that the younger culture now, both white and black, have made light out of things that were so hurtful in the past.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Because 50 years ago, when your parents were young, that word was so derogatory and hurtful
right,
towards them, and now people use it as a way of saying what's up. You
right.
know what I'm saying? Like I think that it's wrong to toy with things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone walked up to my wife and said, "Yo, what's up, spick?" or something, I'd lay them the fuck out.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Because
if someone talked to
they're
my
trying to be uh,
if
disrespectful.
that's how I would take it.
Right,
I would never allow my daughters to speak like that. I would never allow I wouldn't allow them around any people that did speak like that
right.
ever. I mean,
But,
my kids are half and half, like fucking twisted up coffee creamer over here, but I would never allow them to say anything like that. You know, I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. I
right.
think people that promote that and speak like that and all that kind of shit, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be proud of your heritage. It's one thing to be proud of um where your family comes from and traditions that have been passed down through your family and all that kind of shit. But it's another thing to lean on it like a fucking crutch. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel like some people do. I feel some people lean on that shit like a fucking crutch.
Mm.
You know, like whites and blacks. I think both do. You know, I think white people lean on the fact, oh well, my family's fucking always been poor. I'll always be poor. I'll always, be on fucking food stamps or whatever the fuck it is. No, you won't always be. You don't always have to be. You allow yourself to be that way.
Mm.
You have to get out and hustle. Dude, there are so many successful people in the world that do such crazy shit to become successful, and they thought of that idea on their own.
Right.
You know what I mean? They thought of it. They went out and they did it. Like these people that do what's called like reselling. Like they go to Goodwill or the Salvation Army or yard sales, they buy shit and resell it for a profit on like fucking eBay or something. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
the age of the internet has changed everything for everybody. Everybody has a lot of the same opportunities, but yeah, whatever. Prejudice still exists. There are still whites that hate blacks. There are blacks that hate whites. It will never change as long as we don't change our environments.
Right.
Period. And the only way you're going to change our environments is changing the country. The only way to change the country is to go vote, have term limits, get people out of office that have been there, that were involved in segregation and shit like that. Get some of
So,
those old crusty ass white dudes out of office. That's the
so
only way to do it.
little dog, I gotta ask this question because it's a super chat.
If it, all right, what is it?
So 302 Dre said, uh, when
Oh
did you
God,
stop
Stray.
using the N-word?
When did I stop using the N word?
Yeah.
I've never used the N word.
He's never used it, Dre.
I put it this way. Have I ever used it in the sense of like walking up to somebody like, yo, what up? No, never. Have I said it when singing along with songs and shit? For sure. 100%.
Okay.
So but
So
I've never
Dre,
used it. It's not, I don't have the right to say that word.
right. So Dre, how does that make you feel? I don't know. Woo. He stopped yesterday.
I stopped right before this live feed, Dre. Right before this live feed.
No, I think I heard him say earlier in the live feed.
Keep sending Drodge super chats. I'll keep answering your questions.
Ooh-wee.
But they gotta be more than $1.99.
More than $1.99, Dre.
It gotta be more than $1.99. This should be Drodge's highest grossing video ever. It ain't gonna be 6K in one video though. I'm sorry.
Oh man. Hey, if the man say he make that, have you said it angrily speeding in your truck?
Put it on the glass. No, I've never said it speeding in my truck. You think that's just what I call people? Usually, listen, to be honest with you, usually if I see someone driving all crazy, I think they're Asian.
So he doesn't say it angrily.
I usually think they're Asian.
David Pitts, I'm trying to build a mega fleet. Yes. I don't know. You just took us all off subject, but I just wanted to answer that. Back to military.
This is a racially fueled video, David. Can we stay with race, please?
Right. So Will Johnson said, back to military. Would there be another war?
Yes.
Yes.
There will be.
Yes.
For sure.
There will always be war. The next one will be about religion, I'm sure, because I know that on Easter Sunday there were some Catholic churches that got blown up
in Sri Lanka.
Whatever in Sri Lanka. So I believe the next war that countries will get involved in will be a religious war. People will want religious freedom, and seeing that the Catholic Church is one of the largest in the world, I think there'll be a lot of countries, not just ours, that will take part in something like that.
You thinking like another crusade?
Like did he think they're gonna have a draft? That's what he said, something like that.
No. Yeah. I don't think you'll ever see another draft. Not unless there's a world war.
Right.
Where we're fighting like fucking Russia and China. And let's just hope for everyone's sake, our children's sake, our grandchildren's sake, that never happens.
Right. Because I'm going to jail. Because I ain't going. And my children ain't going either. So I guess we'll have to we'll cross that bridge when we get there, Mr. Wilson. I mean Will.
If it gets that bad, I'll go back.
Okay, so Billy will go back for
if it means keeping the Russians away from my kids, man, I'll do it.
Yeah, so look, so he'll take my spot because I'm not going. Okay,
next super chat. Don't read no more questions unless it's super chat, Drodge, because you have
right. Because if y'all gonna say something, it got to be some real. Yeah.
Well, man, any super chats?
Hey, I'm gonna get out of here because I worked pretty hard today doing this flatbed stuff. I'm pretty tired and I need to get cleaned up.
Hey man, you need to get into that reefer game, man.
Hey, I was reefer gang. I started CR England 11 months.
Oh, okay.
I got too fat. Man. I wanted to get my weight under control, so I started doing the flatbed stuff.
What company you with?
Talk about somebody that
I mean, come check out my videos. Find out about me like I did you.
Okay, I got. Hey, did I subscribe? I don't know if I subscribed to you. I meant to subscribe to you.
Hey, but that's right. If you guys want to subscribe to me, I do not talk about stuff like this ever. It's mostly fun stuff about where I'm working at, different things like that.
Hey, you got to talk about it, man.
Hey, if it touches my heart, I do, man. Like the military and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. You ever need my opinion on something? I'll let you know. But yeah, I appreciate y'all letting me on here, man. Little channel with the big channels, man. I appreciate it. We all start somewhere.
Hey man, I'm a little channel too. You know, little dog's the big channel, man.
Little dog, yeah.
Hey, I'm getting yelled at. See, look.
I
came out here. She's like, hey, you still on that damn YouTube over there? You still fucking around with those dudes over there?
Man. Hey, look, I got one more question, little dog, because it's $5.
I'll catch y'all.
It's a super chat. Okay, I'll answer.
Yeah. All right, Billy. Why don't you think a black man can make $6K in a week? Because he's black, huh? Black. That's from 302 Dre. He is an idiot. Stop it, Dre.
It has nothing to do with the that he's black. It has everything to do with the situation that he's in.
I mean, I've seen guys from.
Let me say this: the only way you netted, because he said netted $6,000 in 1 week on paycheck at Prime, is if you held some loads over from weeks prior. Only way. Because I know a guy who's also on YouTube who's got a paid off truck that works over there, and he don't do that kind of money.
But it may be because he's through Prime.
No, don't listen. Don't justify for your boss, okay, Drodge?
Oh my God.
Don't justify it for your CEO, okay?
But I'm saying he's at a different company, so their rates may be a little different.
No, they're getting Prime's freight. Again, I don't care. No. 72 or what is it? 72% or whatever RST gets, some shit like that. Of Prime's rate, or 80%, whatever the fuck it is. No. You ain't netting. Okay, if he said gross 6K, that I would believe. Net 6K? Fuck no.
But I would have to think if he's percentage.
God damn it. No, don't do this to me. Don't. See, because there's no way in hell he netted 6K. Net 6K in 1 week. Unless he's on government blackout loads and gross 20K that week. Fuck no. Hell no. Put it on the glass. Prove me wrong.
But they may
prove me wrong, and I'll eat my fucking words. You call after this live feed, cause he probably watching. He watches you. You're one of his shareholders. You put the shit on the glass. I'll go live and do a promotional video for RST, because everybody will want to work there. There wouldn't be they wouldn't have enough trucks if people was netting 6K over there in 1 week. Net.
So if he
ever netted? Listen to me. Have you, in your hardest week ever, off of one truck? Because I know you got more than one, but off of one truck, have you ever netted 6K?
But I'm flat rate daddy though.
I don't give a shit. Flat rate, adjustable rate, inflatable mortgage. I don't give a shit. Have you ever fucking netted 6K net, not gross? Thank you. I rest my case.
But I'm flat rate.
I don't give it. Man, I wasn't flat rate. I never netted 6K in 1 week. I grossed well over 6K. Never netted 6K. Fuel, truck payment, trailer payment, insurance, all that kind of shit adds up, man.
But he might have.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Listen, I can make a joke. Can I make a joke?
Hey, do your thing, man.
maybe he was doing side jobs.
Oh my God! I did not know that. No more, man. Oh my God! Hey,
now I'm gonna get you in trouble again.
So again, this was over $199. Before we can get you out of here, I know you got to go. And this is from the same guy, 302 Dre. Okay.
I like Dre.
He said, "I have netted 6K before doing a commercial." Dre? What are you talking about? Doing a commercial for me. Now Dre is he got his own truck. I can't remember who he pulls for, but he's making all kinds of money over there. So. But he's talking about at a mega carrier, Dre. He's not talking to you.
I'm not talking, Dre. I ain't talking about. I'm not talking about an owner operator. I'm not talking about a fucking a guy that has a fake fleet like Drodge. I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is somebody who's borrowing a Rent-A-Center truck, netting 6K a week.
Bro, he could look. I'm just saying because I've had great weeks at Stevens Transport.
I've had great weeks at Travelogo, which has a similar setup as RST, percentage-based pay. And at the highest time in the market last year, not ever did I net 6K. After all of my bills and taxes, I never put 6K in my pocket in 7 fucking days after all that.
So maybe he's saying, because I can understand where you come, maybe because maybe he's saying that his settlement was 6K. Then maybe
Can
if
I,
you think about him paying himself,
then
is that
maybe he should have said it was his settlement was 6K because that wouldn't be his net.
okay?
He
Because
said the word net.
right, because that gets misconstrued. You know, when guys talk about that stuff, especially owner operators with their own authority, and they talk about us guys
Well,
leasing
see,
trucks.
listen, obviously, obviously, I have an issue with Trucker Brown, and he knows that. And we had a live phone call a little while back, and we
Right,
put all that out there and shit. But maybe his definition of net is different
right.
than what net really means. Kind of like the way he uses the word diaspora in every other fucking sentence now, because he learned a new word and he just throws it in there because he don't know the proper use of the word. I mean, so maybe his definition of net means something different. You got another super chat? I see your eyes lighting up over there.
No, no, no. I don't got another
Oh,
super
okay.
chat.
Okay, I was hopeful. I'm trying to help you make some money, Drodge.
Hey, I
So I mean,
appreciate it because I really,
hey,
I really
hey,
need it.
listen, you need it. You do, because you got to buy another flat screen TV because someone's fitting to
Oh
come
my,
take
hey,
it out.
bro, that is a square that's been painted black on the
That's
wall. Okay.
a chalkboard, is what it is, right? A
Yeah, that's
chalkboard.
exactly what that is. Okay.
Okay.
I can write on that. That's yeah. That don't nah. I don't even
All right.
think that thing works. Let me see.
That you got a chalkboard. Jeffrey Likes got a whiteboard. I get it. I see
Look,
how it is.
it
All
don't even
these
work. See, that's
all
not
these
even
YouTube trucking pros over here.
right. Even though some guys call people YouTube truckers, and they never mind. I'm not even gonna go
You gonna start
there.
talking
They
about
do
guilty
more
now?
YouTube than most truckers, but oh man,
Oh,
but yeah, man.
I thought you were gonna say something. YouTube truckers on YouTube. I thought we were gonna bring up guilty. I was gonna be like, oh shit. Now we're both
Hey
asking
man,
for it.
I'm just saying. I was looking. One of his videos came up on my what is that? My feed or whatever. I'm like, this man is. I mean, he's the YouTube guru, bro. Like, but he calling people YouTube truckers, like But I ain't
Who?
trying to get
Guilty?
messy. It's just
You talking about guilty?
yes.
Guilty. Let me tell you something. Guilty. I watch his live feeds from time to time. I used to watch them all the time, especially when there was heat. Right.
Right.
I love watching Guilty talk shit. I love it
Right.
because
Yeah.
he is so fucking good at it. He's so good
Right.
at it. And
Right.
what he did, like when you watch one of his live streams when he's doing it from home, even on the road, he uses a piece of software called Streamlabs, which is what a lot of gamers use. So
Right.
what he did was took that gaming environment, that style, and combined it with his content, and it created something totally new. And I fucking admire it, and I like it a lot.
A
Like it's so
YouTube trucker, right? YouTube trucker.
trucker on YouTube,
That's a
trucker,
YouTube
YouTube.
trucker. A
Listen,
trucker on YouTube doesn't have whatever you just said.
Streamlabs.
Yeah, that's
I
what a
think.
YouTube trucker would have.
Listen, Guilty creates content. All right, Guilty. If you see this, you know I love you, dude.
Hey,
Guilty.
Guilty, if you see this, hey, you my boy. Okay, you may not like me, but you my boy. Okay. So look, real quick, I know we gotta get you out of here, but I do want to ask you about because I want to ask you about it because someone this is not a super chat, but the black smoke matters thing, trucker shutting down.
Failure. Fucking failure.
That's what failure.
It was a failure. Great idea as far as trying to get drivers to unite and do something for the industry.
Right.
To kind of get people to notice what was going on. But when you have, and I said this before, Ike said this, Jake and El said this, a lot of other guys said the same thing. When they did it before, it was a year ago, and they stopped traffic. I think it was around DC, and they had guys out there on the fucking highway giving the middle finger and all that.
Right.
It doesn't set forth a good reputation of the industry of people trying to be professional, and so I think that tainted it. I think when they retried it, they got a lot more publicity this time, but other things happened, and
Right.
you have a lot of turmoil within that organization amongst the people that lead it, or that were in charge of it. So that just trickles down, and that's why we can't have anything nice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what happens is everybody has their opinion. Everyone has their idea of how it should go, and not everybody's going to agree, right? But if you have a vote and majority rules, then it should go that way. I just don't think it did. And I actually reached out. I actually put them and a small little page called Business Insider. I put them all in touch with each other, and they got some articles in Business Insider, but they fucking ruined it. I think they're a bunch of egotistical white motherfuckers who feel like they're entitled to shit without having to fucking work for it.
Right.
And I think they feel if they kick and stomp and throw little tantrums that they'll get what they want, and that's not how it works. You don't give your kid everything they want when they throw a little fucking tantrum. You teach them a lesson.
True.
You want them to work for it. Like for me, like my daughters, they have chores.
Right.
If they want extra things beyond what we provide for them, if they want special shit or whatever, then you gotta fucking earn it. Just like I gotta earn it.
Right. Yeah.
It's great to pass things on to your kids, but you don't want them to grow up feeling entitled and have everything handed to them.
Right.
Because then they do not become productive members of society when they're adults.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. So I think
So
that's
Drodge, I got a question for you. Who's
uh-oh.
gonna be the first white guy on WoW Network?
Hey, my battery is getting
Yeah, okay. All right.
Hey, I anybody, it could be anybody, man.
It could be anybody. I'm just wondering, because I know I won't even bring it up. It's not even worth it.
I think if I'm sure I don't know how far you and Trucker Brown's situation goes, but maybe y'all can do an interview together or something, put it on WoW Network. I don't know.
No, because that would help his subscriber count too much. Because it would be a topic that a lot of people would tune in to see.
Right.
If I mean, and not just because of who I am or because who he is, but because on both sides of the aisle, there's a lot of emotion, just like the military thing, and a lot of people would go into it thinking that it would be about race, which it would end up being about race.
That's what people do that. Yeah,
they do, 100%.
But I mean, what he got going over with the WoW Network, it's nothing trucking related. I will say that. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing trucking related.
It's not, but it's ran by a YouTube trucker.
trying to be, have something different. It is ran by him.
Have you invested money into WoW Network?
No, I haven't.
Good for you.
Dodge Diggity. Dang, what? It ain't. I wouldn't say trash, bro. It's a beginner. Somebody said Dodge Diggity says trash. It's not trash, man. It's a beginner. What is it? YouTube. So
let me tell you something. I just put up a video today on my channel. It's a trucking news video.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to go look at the pristine quality of that video and the editing. Okay. Mm-hmm. I just want you to look at that. And then I want you to take that little piece of content, okay, that I did just today here, and I want you to match that up against an interview on WoW Network. Because listen.
You said which the trucking news? Okay, I see it.
Yeah. You don't gotta play it or whatever. You don't get. I mean, just I want you to.
I'll take a look at it.
You can mute that and just look at the pristine quality of that.
I'll put it in my watch later.
But my problem is this, and this is my advice that you can take back to your CEO, and then I'm out of here. If you're gonna buy the fancy equipment, learn how to fucking edit. Period. Because your phone shoots 4K, so does the $2,000 camera that you bought. But there's no difference unless you take advantage of that and you learn how to fucking edit.
Mm.
Because editing makes the magic. It's all about the editing. So you can buy the fucking little light stands and all the shit on Amazon that comes in the $200 kit. You can buy the fucking the goddamn 4K camera and all that kind of shit. But if you're just shooting it, cutting it, and uploading it,
Mm.
you ain't doing anything better than what you did with your phone. Not a goddamn thing different.
So real quick, because you're a big fan, 302 Dre.
Is
He
it a
said,
super
"Why do you?"
chat?
Yes, he said,
Okay.
"Why do you want?" Hold on. Why do you want Wild Network gentrified?
Because listen, I think that segregation is wrong. And if black people want to be involved in what I do, or should I not? I shouldn't say what I do. What white people do, or you want to do everything, that hey, it should be the same.
Okay.
Because if
And-
I
and
went
that-
and made it, because if I went, I think it should be flip flop. I think it should be the same. I think if I went and made white entertainment television, people be like, oh shit, the Klan's got its own network. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, you wouldn't have to. You won't. Don't name it White Entertainment.
yeah,
Name
it's
it.
gonna be well, you got BET, you got Black Entertainment Television, you got Bet. I want wet. You see what I'm saying? I want wet.
Okay.
White
Hey,
Entertainment Television.
you are entitled to your own network. But
Well,
yeah,
he's got Wow Network. I'm gonna call it Now Network.
now see that sounds good, man. You know.
See it now, not later when other people are saying wow. There you go.
Oh man. All right, man. Hey, this was good. But
It's fun, man. We'll have to plan in a few days or something. Do something on my channel. I'll have you over there.
right, yeah,
Be-
we'll do it.
Be
Let me
cool.
know.
We'll get some people together and we'll talk about your hair.
Okay, yeah. Hey, you should try it, man. You might like it. You know,
Man,
you might
listen,
like it.
hey, I got more kids than you do, and this shit is receding like a motherfucker. Like I shaved my head, because because when I came off the road, I didn't get a fucking haircut since I've been home,
Right.
and I have clippers, and I don't trust my wife to cut my hair. I just don't.
Right.
Okay, and I couldn't get into the barbershop, and it was long enough where it was bugging the fuck out of me. So I just hugest mistake of my life, because now I look like I'm 50, right? Because my shit's receding. I mean, come on, dude.
That's
Look
what I'm
at this
saying.
shit. Look at
If
this
you
fucking shit.
if you lock it up, man, you'll be good. I'm telling you.
I can't do that. My hair won't do that. Are you
Yes, it
kidding me?
will.
Listen, those white dudes that do that shit are fucking posers that put toothpaste in their hair to make that shit stick together. That shit don't fucking work for us.
You gotta
You know,
crochet it. They crochet it.
it. Listen, I'm not an 80-year-old woman either making blankets, bro. I ain't crocheting shit.
Oh
Okay?
man.
Like,
Oh.
listen, I
All
like
right.
it. It looks good. Okay?
Yeah.
But I. Mm-mm.
So
You,
real quick before I get you
hell,
out of here, Dre, don't super chat no more. I'm done with you, dog. He said keep the hat on, bro. Okay, that's what
no
he said.
shit, Dre. That's what I'm saying, dude. I gotta keep the fucking hat on. That's why until my hair grows back and I can do the high and tight and cover the fucking receding shit up a little bit. You know why it gets like that and like my face is broken out a little bit? Because now I dispatch from home, right?
Mm,
I dispatch from home, so I'm sitting at my computer all day long and I'm doing this fucking shit, staring at the goddamn low bore like
right,
this here, and I'm going like this. I'm like pulling my fucking hair out because you trying to find a load. Like,
right,
and like the thing is you look at these load boards, man, and it's such a crock of shit. Like I don't want to get in the whole freight talk and all that kind of stuff, but
mm,
I know what it's like being out on the road as an owner operator, depending on the spot market and things like that. And when I have drivers that I'm dispatching, that I'm working for them, and I'm trying to find them the best loads that I can. And when I can't do that, and I know that they're suffering because of the fact that I can't find them the right load,
mm,
or they sit for an extra day or something, it stresses me the hell out, man.
right,
Because I want them to fucking make money, and I know what it's like to be out there. And there's a clear difference between someone that's driven before pushing a truck around
true,
than someone that never has. So you understand what's going on in the cab of that truck, and it is stressful,
right,
super stressful.
yeah,
And it does nothing but piss me off. I've gotten hung up on, cussed out by brokers, everything, because I tell them they're fucking nuts.
mm.
So
That's good,
So
man.
whatever.
Keep
Dre,
it up for the driver.
I appreciate you sending all the super chats to Drodge. He obviously needs the extra cash.
I need it.
He needs it.
Okay.
You know,
I
Dre,
am flat
I'm
rate
glad.
daddy.
Listen, Dre, I'm happy that you can give Drodge his YouTube reparations, and for all the videos he had in the past that flopped. This one
Oh
will make
man, hurt my
this
feelings.
one.
I take
This
this
will make.
YouTube thing serious, man. It hurt
So
my
do I.
feelings on that.
I take it very seriously.
Right. I do need to I need to take it more serious than I do. But I'm working on it.
Call me anytime.
No doubt.
Call me anytime. Hey, listen, I do have an opportunity for you, so hit me up tomorrow.
All right, I'll call you.
I can PayPal you some shit tomorrow.
All right. All right, man.
All right.
We'll talk about it. Let me get out here for Dre sends another super chat.
Thanks for having me on here, everybody. I appreciate you listening to me and Drodge and Billy chat and stuff. Thanks for all the comments, because whether you agree with me or you agree with Drodge or whatever the case is, you were engaged. Right. And that's what matters. You engage in the conversation, you put your opinion out there, and you try to make a difference in somebody else's train of thought. So everybody be safe if you're on the road. Other than that, Drodge, guard your
real quick, Dre said don't speak to him.
Okay.
But that's that.
Don't speak to him. Okay.
Right.
He
all right,
shall
man.
not be named. Thank you for all the super chats.
All right,
Later,
man.
Guys.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate y'all being here. This was a good thing. We got a lot of stuff. This is what the Google Hangout is to me. Okay. For people, any disagreement you got, holler at me. Or do it on your own page, or do whatever you want to do, but let's talk about it. Okay, if you feel some way about me, let's talk about it. If you feel some way about somebody else, let's talk about it face to face. And if you're not willing to show your face, or you don't have a profile, okay, you're not going to be taken serious. Okay, but this was a good live feed. I enjoyed it. I feel like I got my point across. I got my opinion across. So did the other guys on here. So that was a good thing. Okay. Your opinion is your opinion. You are entitled to it. But just be you, be real to yourself, and go from there. But Norman, I appreciate the $5. But let's see, like me. Yeah. But again, this is my ending. I'm about to get out of here, about to go to bed. Life is simple. Choose to be happy, man. All right. And if you ain't about that life, then get out that truck. Gone.